statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
A day of high-stakes meetings for Democrats. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Lawmakers face-to-face in Washington for the first time since last month's presidential debate as President Biden urges unity. House Democrats meeting first.
That meeting wrapped up after 2 long hours, and these Democrats are really trying to figure this out privately amongst themselves. This was a top-secret meeting. No cell phones allowed. They didn't want anyone to leak any information out. But as these Democrats were trickling out of that room, one of them told us that there is no consensus. Another one told us that they are still discussing.
Fox's Aisha Hasni. Massachusetts Congressman Stephen Lynch says the majority of Democrats still back the president, but that holdouts remain. Senate Democrats meeting this afternoon. Former President Trump believes the president will keep resisting calls to drop out, telling Fox's Sean Hannity.
He's got an ego and he doesn't want to quit. He doesn't want to do that. It just looks to me like that's what he wants.
The former president rallies tonight in Florida alongside one of his potential running mates, Senator Marco Rubio. The U.S. Navy commander just confirming to Fox News that a junior Navy sailor tried to gain access to President Biden's medical records from a military database 3 times in February out of curiosity, but was not successful. The sailor was administratively disciplined after an investigation that ended in April. More than 2 million homes and businesses still without power in Texas as damage assessments continue after Hurricane Beryl. Galveston Mayor Craig Brown.
We've had extensive damage on the island. We've had structural damage. We've had reports of tornadoes. We have had a lot more concerns with this hurricane than we were ever thinking would happen before it came ashore here.
Beryl's blamed for 7 deaths in Texas, 1 in Louisiana, and what's left of it is threatening more flooding from Arkansas to Michigan. America is listening to Fox News.
When you get nachos, tacos, empanadas, spicy queso with jalapenos, Pepto-Bismol's there. Pepto-Bismol provides fast, effective relief from nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, and diarrhea. All the things that can happen unexpectedly on vacation. So before you travel, pack the Pepto. Pepto-Bismol.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Unsettled times continue as we go through our Tuesday afternoon with periods of rain and increasing winds, 79 for the high. Again, this is the moisture coming up from the old hurricane in the western Gulf. The focus, St. Louis south and southeast. Tonight, periods of rain and thunderstorms, windy, heavy rain at times, 65. Wednesday, partly to mostly sunny, maybe a spot storm at 84. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group. Are you worried about market volatility in this election year? Are you concerned your money won't last you through retirement?
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw, and as a family-owned business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. We have a lot of folks that aren't aware of all the new investment choices that are available, which give you growth and protection from losses at the same time. Are you aware of all the fees that you are currently paying? We can show you how to avoid those fees. So come in now for your free retirement review and get a second opinion on your retirement plan. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. Let us show you how to retire with confidence.
We are proud to say we haven't lost a penny of our clients' money in 38 years, and we won't lose a penny of yours either. Let our family help your family. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
Hey homeowners, it's time to transform your house into a masterpiece with Lakeside Renovation and Design, your James Hardie siding experts. Picture this, durable, weather-resistant siding that doesn't just protect, but elevates your home's value and curb appeal. James Hardie, the gold standard in siding, installed by the pros at Lakeside. Say goodbye to maintenance headaches and hello to a home that stands the test of time. Ready for a siding upgrade? Lakeside Renovation and Design is your go-to. Visit our showroom or call today. Unleash the potential of your home with James Hardie Siding.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Hello, St. Louis. This is Ryan Wiggins filling in for Annie Fry. Brad Range here today, too. She may be in a little bit later today. We're just filling in while she attends to a personal matter this morning, but I wouldn't be surprised if she stops by this afternoon. So we're just filling in. It is my challenge whenever I do so, whether it be filling in on the Annie Fry Show or doing my own show, Wiggins America, on the weekends, that, you always want to start with the biggest news. But the question is, and this just isn't right now. It's always this question when you're conveying information, especially about politics and power, is what is the actual story? Is it what the Chiron's saying on Fox News and CNN today, or is there something deeper? Like, for instance, if it's an economic story, inflation is up. Do we talk about how inflation is up, or do we talk about what the administration has done to cause inflation? Or do we go even deeper and talk about how there are shadow groups trying to bring an international currency?
No.
These are the struggles that I deal with personally. But today, the story is that a bunch of Democrats, pretty much all congressional Democrats, got together and decided whether or not they were going to try to overturn the president of the United States. So
overturn it.
Like, should they get rid of the president of the United States, at least as a candidate? So my challenge was, do I talk about Congress trying to get rid of the president, or do we go deeper and talk about Congress trying to get rid of the president? Like, it's the same story. This is big, deep stuff that's happening right in front of our eyes. And I almost can't believe it.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you would have talked about this maybe 4 or 5 years ago, it would have been insane to think that Congress would be meeting to get rid of or say that the sitting president is not fit for office. Not only not, well, I say it would be insane to say that. They were saying that about Trump the whole time. But, like, they're actually meeting, and Democrats are actually considering doing this now because of the debate performance of Joe Biden put on full display what we have been saying for a long time.
And my point really, even in bringing that up at the top of the show, is the stuff of conspiracies is now mainstream news.
Right.
It is now happening right in front of our eyes. Everybody's reporting on it. I almost can't believe it when I come into the studio every day. I mean, you're doing the same thing too. I'm sure when you wake up, you look at the news and you're like, oh my gosh, like this is really happening.
It's a combination of, oh my gosh, and oh my gosh, because I understand the amount of work that's going to go into it once they would announce that Joe Biden's stepping down. This place is going to explode.
I mean, it already is. It's not exploding, it's imploding.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a difference, and this is what it looks like before an explosion happens. I still maintain that I don't think the explosion is going to happen just because Joe Biden seems to want to stay as the nominee, not just the president, but as the nominee. So what's incredible is the nation is having a discussion now because Democrats and the mainstream media, which really are one and the same, are having a conversation publicly about the things that we've been talking about for 4 years. Fox News put out a list here that I've got. Democrats who say Biden should drop out, Democrats who support Biden as a nominee, and Democrats who have raised concerns. So there's 3 different categories and groups there. And this all happened today. I came in this morning. I stayed a little bit late at home because Point Pest Control came by. A shout out to a sponsor of the show. They're taking care of us. We've had some spiders. And I came in a little late. Brad goes, you watching the news? I'm like, actually, no, I've not really been paying attention this morning. He's like, dude, Democrats are having a closed door meeting about what they're going to do about Joe Biden. So Fox News put this list out. Democrats who say Biden should drop out. Pretty much publicly, these people are going, yeah, it's over. They're throwing in the towel on the guy. I mean, this is a big deal. He is the current president and the future nominee for the Democrat Party, and they're saying he's incapable. We're not going to stick together on this. We're going public and saying the guy needs to drop out. Now, a lot of these are not big names. They're just congressional Democrats. Lloyd Doggett of Texas, Raul Grijalva, Seth Moulton, Mike Quigley, Annie Craig. Then you do have some bigger names here, like Adam Frisch. You see a lot of ads for this guy because he's running against Lauren Boebert in Colorado. And Fox News has said Jerry Nadler is one of those names. Now, he would be the biggest name on the list, except that, and pardon the audio here because they're just walking out of this closed-door meeting. People are running up to him with microphones. Here's what he had to say.
He's the only candidate.
Sir, you do have
any
concerns
about
the next term? Do you have any concerns about being able to serve out the rest of this term?
No.
Just to be clear, sir, you do not want the president to drop out?
I do not.
Sir, is your support for the president a pragmatic consideration, given as the president has said you will remain in?
Well, yeah. He said he's going to remain in. He's our candidate, and we're all going to support him. I hope we're going to.
That kind of leaves you with no choice then, I take it.
I'm talking about William. Well, yes. As the president said, something like 90% of Democrats voted for him in the primaries. He won the nomination, and that's the end of the matter.
Jerry Nadler, not exactly a ringing endorsement.
So, you got no choice. Yeah.
Yeah, his answers weren't even like, yeah, that's right. It was like, yeah. So you do want him to stay in. Do you want him to drop out? No. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Nadler. Now you have, if those are the people who are supporting Biden, although he was on the list, for clarity, he was on the list of people that Fox News had said that at least in private on Sunday were meeting with Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries and saying that he should exit the race. But that's what he's saying today after the closed-door meeting. By the way, the closed-door meeting is kind of fun because what they're saying is, yes, we do want him to drop out, but we want you to know that we don't want him to drop out. We're having this closed-door meeting where we're talking about him dropping out, but what we want you to know and to say is that we're all united right now.
He's our guy.
So,
and this is just the congressional one. This is the House. The Senate's going to meet later this afternoon.
Democrats who have raised concerns, which means they don't know exactly what they're going to say. They're feeling everything out, which is pretty much what every politician does all the time anyway. Former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has raised concerns among the big names. James Clyburn, Democrat from South Carolina, said, I do know this. I think that the American people want an explanation. They need to be reassured, and I hope over the next several days we'll do that. John Tester, who's in a very, very red state of Montana, who's running for Senate, says President Biden has got to prove to the American people, including me, that he's up to the job for another 4 years. Adam Schiff, Ro Khanna, Jerry Connolly, Jared Huffman. These are people that maybe you don't know all those names. Here's one of my favorites. I just like saying her name, and I honestly think she's made herself like a name because of her name. Debbie Dingle. President Biden has got to go out there in a sustained basis and show that he has the stamina to do the job. Katie Porter, who is running for Senate in California, the White House is going to have to be way less insular than they have been. I think that's a concern for everybody. Jamie Raskin. I mean, if you have somebody who's going to stick to the talking points, that is the dude. Jamie Raskin is going to say the stuff. And he said, we're having a serious conversation about what to do. That was probably the conversation that happened today. So obviously, there's fracturing going on in the party, and people are coming out of the House. Here is what Representative Steve Cohen had to say after that Democrat meeting.
You all on the same page?
No. What do you mean you're not on the same page? You're not even in the same book.
We support President Biden.
What's the outcome of that meeting?
Wait a minute. Are you on the same page? No, we're not even on the same book. So it sounds like the meeting didn't determine anything. You have the big names all saying, yeah, I think he's the guy, which yesterday Annie talked to Ryan Schmelz, Capitol Hill reporter, White House correspondent. He said, watch for those big names, because if they start, which is why I was talking about Nadler so much.
He mentioned people like Jeffries and Pelosi and Jayapal and people like that.
These are the names that are in this clip, including AOC. I don't know whether you'd consider her actual leadership, but certainly media leadership. Here's what they're saying.
I made clear publicly the day after the debate that I support President Joe Biden and the Democratic ticket. My position has not changed.
But that's Biden and the Democratic ticket. Do you support Biden on the ticket or just Biden and whatever the ticket is?
Same answer.
We have a great president. He has a great record working with us. A great record of achievement. And I'm hopeful that he will be the next president of the United States.
I had spoken to the president over the weekend. I have spoken with him extensively. He made clear then, and he has made clear since, that he is in this race. The matter is closed. He had reiterated that this morning. He has reiterated that to the public. Joe Biden is our nominee. He is not leaving this race. He is in this race, and I support him.
I really do believe that the more members of our caucus who speak directly to him, the more confident they will feel. So I've encouraged the White House to make sure that the president does as much outreach as possible, or not the White House, but the campaign, that the president does as much outreach as possible.
Listen, I'm not here to give advice to my colleagues. They all have independent districts and things that they feel like they have to do. I do think that we should continue to have whatever conversations we need to have with our constituents, with our colleagues. We should have them in private.
So the leadership's sticking with Biden. Here's Mike Quigley. He's a Democrat from Illinois.
The fighting spirit and pride and courage that served the country so well 4 years ago helped Joe Biden win. Will bring the ticket down this time. He just has to step down because he can't win. And my colleagues need to recognize that a dismissive letter is not going to change any mind.
Just want to reiterate that the Democrat Party is in complete disarray right now. And it's not like at any time Republicans have a disagreement, the media goes crazy. They're like, oh my gosh, Republicans are having an internal war.
Civil war amongst Republicans.
And because they want it to look chaotic.
Yeah.
I don't care about it looking chaotic. This is actually chaotic. This is the Congress of the United States, the entire Democrat caucus of the United States Congress, well, of the House anyway. The Senate will be this afternoon, meeting to determine whether the sitting president of the United States is capable of being the president of the United States. Now, they don't have the power to remove him now, but they are trying very, very hard to figure out if they can wedge him out of the candidacy, which means he's not actually fit to be president either.
Yeah, it's wild. I mentioned this to Annie, I guess it was a week ago. I said I looked at the poll because the day of the debate, we said, will the debate matter? And it was kind of like
Not
split.
really?
It was close. We didn't know if it would matter or wouldn't. That debate has had way more impact than I could have ever imagined. And it isn't because, either side did a great job of persuading people over to their side. It's because Joe Biden publicly died on stage that night. Like, he went out there and just looked like he had no business being out there, let alone in the Oval Office. And that one event, that one moment in history where it was out there for everybody to see, has put the Democratic Party in an absolute melee. They don't know what to do. They're looking for the right way. And you and I have talked about this. The more they fight about this, the more they need to get Joe Biden out, because if they don't get Joe Biden out, they have spent, a month saying that he's a large chunk of his own party saying that he is not fit for office.
By the middle of August. And it depends on when they announce the nominee, because they were talking about doing it at like August 7th, but they were also talking about doing August 19th. So I don't know what they've determined. But for a good month and a half now, unless they settle this soon, which we're literally playing for you clips that happened today, this morning.
They're trying to settle it.
They can't settle. They don't know what they're going to do. They have no idea, because they know there are enough people saying this guy can't win that I'm going to completely throw my reputation on the grenade of this is over. You have to remove him. And enough people that go, yeah, but the system's kind of in place and I don't want to lose my position. And maybe the only way we can get him across the finish line is to stay with this guy because he doesn't seem to want to move. I mean, there's really no consensus. This is actually one of the most beautiful pictures that I've ever seen, because there are times that I will talk to people of my own ilk, conservatives who will talk to me. And these are good friends of mine a lot of times, who will say like conspiracy stuff. And I have to say, sometimes there's truth in that. Like, we've seen a lot of things that were considered conspiracies be totally true in the last 5 to 6 years.
More than I would have expected.
More than anybody expected. But at the same time, there are moments like this that you go, nobody's in charge. Nobody really has a plan. They're completely scrambling, and they're doing it in public for us all to see. And I sometimes like to see that, because if there was this like grand puppet master, this moment wouldn't happen.
Right.
You wouldn't see this happening. And Brad, I'm glad, before we get to the break here, we're going to talk to Senator Bill Eigel about the debate, the Missouri Governor's Forum that's coming up on Thursday night, that's going to be moderated by our own Annie Fry. That'll be live on the radio. And also, you can attend the event too. Go to 971talk.com/events if you'd like to. But Brad, you mentioned the debate being this big turning point. Debates are good for that reason.
100%.
They're one of the only remaining opportunities where candidates, whether they be for president of the United States or governor or state dog catcher or whatever it is, I don't think a whole lot of people tune into the dog catcher ones, but they are one of the only moments where the sheen is kind of taken off for a moment, and you can see now it's performance. I get it. Like the GOP primaries, Trump wasn't even there. Were they useful? I don't know. And they're very performative. But you got to see the candidates all together on one stage talking to, at, over one another, and you get to see the real thing, at least for an hour and a half.
No scripts, no teleprompters, thinking on your feet, show us what you got.
That is the importance of debates. They are so rare because everything is so managed. But you've seen the impact of one debate, what it can do to a candidacy. I am really looking forward to talking to Senator Bill Eigel about not only the presidential debate, but his debate that's coming up on Thursday night. We're going to do that next here on the Annie Fry Show. Ryan Wiggins and Brad Range filling in for today. She'll be back soon. See you in a minute.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
I'm embarrassed to to say this. I've been using deodorant on my armpits for 30 years, and anytime I noticed odor anywhere else, I thought I needed another shower, I wasn't clean, or I felt like there was something wrong with me. And then my gynecologist told me about Lumi. It's a whole body deodorant for pits, feet, and privates that controls odor anywhere and everywhere on your body. Since Lumi, I never have to worry about body odor ever again, anywhere on my body. And that reassurance is worth every penny.
There's a special offer for listeners. Use code 555 and get 15% off your first purchase with code 555, like the Lumi Starter Pack, Acidified Body Wash, or new Lumi Plus Sweat Control. That's LumeDeodorant.com, code 555 for 15% off your first purchase. With over 200,000 five-star reviews, I am so sure you're going to love it. Or return it for free with Lumi's 60-day money-back guarantee. That's LumeDeodorant.com, code 555 to save 15% today.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. With Ramp, you get full visibility into your company's spending and control who spends what with each vendor. Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts instantly to save your team valuable time. Ramp automates data entry and routine tasks with automated approvals, expense categorization and bill payments, time-consuming tasks. Which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. Get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/free. Ramp.com/free. RAMP.com/free.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
To have a roof over your head, a nice roof over your head, is very important.
That's Rick talking about his experience with Rhino Shield ceramic coating.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago, and they were very cooperative on getting us the right paint. They were in and out and done in no time. Once it was finished, looked great. We were very happy with it.
The main reason Rick called Rhino Shield is because it's backed by a 25-year transferable warranty.
We've watched a lot of people get their house painted 3 or 4 times, and we haven't had to do any of it. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to have to paint it every 5-7 years.
Take a tip from Rick and put down the paintbrush and call Rhino Shield for your free evaluation. 877-25-RHINO. 877-25-RHINO. Or visit 877-25rhino.com.
We got Rhino Shield 18 years ago. Financially makes sense, especially if it's going to last like this did. Still looks great.
Call now. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com.
No pain, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Jewels on Hampton and St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, coins, flatware, and fine watches on site. Jewels on Hampton is a premier jeweler featuring Alvanza's jewel art designs with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jewels on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, coins, flatware, and fine watches. Bring in your collectibles and clocks and sports memorabilia and figurines too. Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa, and jewelsonhampton.com. Call them at 314-752-5000, 314-752-5000, and jewelsonhampton.com. Jewels on Hampton.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. 9 out of 10 homes are under-insulated. Keep the air you're paying to heat where it should be with 15% off attic insulation. For a free estimate on attic insulation, visit aircomfortservice.com.
We're here to help you get registered to vote, whether you're in Missouri or Illinois. Democracy 2024 on 97.1 FM Talk. If you need help getting registered, go to 971talk.com/vote. This is the Annie Fry Show.
Baby born a Birkin. She's been telling me all night long. Gasoline and groceries. The list goes on and on.
First of all, I spent half my career being
being criticized being the youngest person in politics. I was the second youngest person ever elected to the United States Senate, and now I'm the oldest. This guy's 3 years younger and a lot less competent. I think that just look at the record. Look at what I've done. Look how I've turned around the horrible situation he left me. As I said, 15 million new jobs, 800,000 manufacturing jobs, more investment in America, over billions of dollars in private investment in enterprises that we are growing.
Well, that is the president of the United States, Joe Biden, from the debate a couple of weeks ago. If you don't think debates matter, consider that you need to pay attention to that one, which has caused a political firestorm in the country. Now, in Missouri, we have one coming up on Thursday night. Senator Bill Eigel is with us. He's going to be in that debate. Senator, thanks for joining us.
You bet. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
I'm going to ask you kind of a pragmatic question to start this. We always hear about the presidential candidates. You know, Joe Biden went for 11 days to Camp David to prep for a debate. What does that look like for governor? Do you talk to an empty chair like Clint Eastwood? I mean, what does debate prep look like for Bill Eigel?
Actually, debate prep looks like me taking every opportunity to answer questions just like I'm doing in this interview, going to every event that I possibly can and meeting with actual everyday Missourians who ask me all sorts of questions about how we're going to make this state strong again. And that is by far the best debate prep that I could ever do, because whether or not my opponents are in the room or not, my message, my vision of a stronger Missouri is still the same. It's a Missouri where we're not having to pay personal property tax for the crime of owning a car every December 1st. It's a Missouri where we're detaining and deporting every one of the illegal immigrants in this state. There's estimated to be over 70,000 of them. In fact, the cost of those illegal immigrants is more than we collect in personal property tax. So it's a Missouri where we're protecting our farmland from being bought out by foreign countries. It's a Missouri where we're protecting our children from being exposed to this transgender CRT DEI nonsense. So this is the Missouri that I believe in my heart of hearts that the people of the state really want, because they show up every other year on the first Tuesday in November and demand it. And the only reason they haven't gotten it is because of all the weak Republicans down in Jefferson City. So I'm excited to go to the debate. I'm not sure all my opponents feel the same way, but we're going to be there and we're going to be loud.
Yeah, Thursday night, Annie Fry will be monitoring that or moderating that debate. Senator, I've heard, I think may have been you saying this on whether it was this show or one of the other shows here on 97.1 about the ballooning budget of Missouri.
Yeah.
Now, of course, Brad and I and Annie, we're all from Illinois, which is probably why Annie is moderating that debate, because we don't really have a dog in the fight. But, we kind of look over at Missouri longingly from Illinois. But we do see that there are some fiscal issues that Missouri is facing right now that have never really been a problem before. A lot of this federal money that has been flooding the state from, I guess, COVID era is going to be drying up. How does a Governor Eigel deal with those problems?
Well, I think, first of all, we have to understand that Governor Mike Parson is up there with some of the most blue states in the country as far as how much he's actually grown our budget. In fact, we've grown our budget more in the past 6 years of the Parson administration than all the Democratic governors combined going back to the founding of the state of Missouri. So he's doubled the state budget. I don't know of any other state in the union that's doubled their state budget like Missouri has under the guidance, quote-unquote guidance of Mike Parson and the center-left regime of rhino Republicans that we've got down there in Jefferson City. And because we've increased government so much to the tune of $25 billion in new spending, to put that in perspective, personal property tax, the value of every personal property tax on every citizen in the state is only $1.7 billion. So a question I get asked a lot is, how are you going to pay for these personal property tax cuts? The answer is, we're going to cut state government, and when we get back to expected historical levels of spending in Jefferson City, we're going to be able to not only get rid of personal property tax, we can get rid of income tax. So the only reason that hasn't happened is because of the status quo down in Jefferson City, and nobody has been more aggressive about confronting that status quo than I have. I think that's why people are responding to our message.
You know, my brother actually has lived in Missouri and Illinois and kind of has gone back and forth a couple times. And that's one of the things he says over and over when he comes back to Illinois. He goes, well, at least we don't have a personal property tax. And I have to remind him, yeah, but our income taxes and other property taxes are way higher. But it is one of the concerns that people say, Missouri does have personal property tax. I mean, is that a top-of-the-line issue? Is that one of those main ones that people come to you and go, this is why I want you as governor?
Yes, absolutely. I would say it's in the top three of issues that we're talking about. I mean, keep in mind, the hit that households take on December 1st for the crime of owning a car hammers in particular our working middle-income class households. And this is as a result of just trying to keep the vehicle that they need to get to their jobs every day, to get to each other every day. It's a big deal. In fact, I remember, I'm the only candidate for governor that's actually sponsored and passed an income tax. And one of the first levels of feedback I got after we were celebrating the reduction in the income tax was this idea that, folks said, that's great, but when are you going to help us on this personal property tax? So there's a tremendous amount of passion for that. And 29 other states have already gotten rid of personal property tax. Under an Eigel administration, Missouri will be the 30th.
Senator Eigel, you mentioned that personal property tax is one of your big three issues. What are the other two?
The other two are, one, illegal immigration. I'm the only candidate for governor that's come out and said very clearly that I'm going to declare an invasion under Article 4 of the Missouri Constitution, which will empower the Highway Patrol, every sheriff in the state, the National Guard if necessary, to detain and deport every single one of the more than 70,000 illegal immigrants that are in this state right now. And the other is protecting the farmland in this state. We've got foreign countries where, and by the way, China is the low-hanging fruit. Everybody knows that China shouldn't be buying our land, except for maybe Mike Kehoe, who actually voted to allow China to buy our land back in 2013. Everybody knows we shouldn't be allowing China to do that. We're going to put a stop to that, but we're also going to make sure that no other foreign countries are allowed to buy our farmland, because Missouri ought to be owned by Missourians, or at least Americans. So those are the big three. There's also another issue that we talk about a lot is the education, getting all this CRT, DEI nonsense out of our schools. We're going to stop taking all this money from the federal Department of Education, and we're going to dismantle that bureaucracy down in Jefferson City, the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, which is causing and enforcing so many of these problems and have allowed our schools to get away from teaching reading, writing, arithmetic. We're going to roll that back, and this is all part of the Missouri that I'm talking about.
We're speaking with State Senator Bill Eigel, represents Missouri's 23rd District and a candidate for governor of Missouri. He will be a part of the Missouri Governors Forum, which will air live right here Thursday night at 6:30, moderated by our own Annie Fry. Senator Eigel, another one of those issues that you've been talking about a lot, illegal immigration. Is that one of those things that, let's say, I don't really see this happening right now, but let's say a Democrat administration continues to be president for the next 4 years. How would Missouri handle deporting illegal immigrants if not the federal government having, supporting that initiative?
Yeah, great. And by the way, I share your assessment that is the unlikely scenario.
Thank
of course,
you.
I think Donald J. Trump is going to be the next president. However, in the event that he isn't, the detain and deport piece is only one part of this. So we can detain these illegals, deport them to the nearest port of entry. If we have a Democratic regime that just lets them back into our state, that's also why I'm going to be calling on the legislature to pass the legislation that I had this year under Senate Bill 1372, which would have also have made it a state-level crime to be in the state illegally, so that if you had a repeat offender that was allowed back into the state of Missouri and came back in illegally, unlawfully, we'd be putting them in jail. So there is a broad, defined role for the state to get involved when the federal government's not doing its job. And I'm just at the place where I'm not looking to Washington, D.C. for solutions on any of these issues. So if we get something in the form of assistance from them, helping to enforce the security of our sovereignty, fantastic. But I'm charting a course that either way, we're going to protect our citizens.
State Senator Bill Eigel, I'll kind of conclude on this question because I'm sure that you're going to hear this at the debate on Thursday night. But contrast yourself against the other candidates. Jay Ashcroft, Mike Kehoe.
Yeah.
They're all vying for the same position as you are. We in Illinois are jealous of the candidacies that Missouri has. But Missouri, is in a position where the primary is in August. And they're going to have to decide whether it's you or Jay Ashcroft or Mike Kehoe, the three leading candidates. Yeah. What is it that sets you apart from them?
Well, I'm the anti-establishment candidate. I mean, when you look at really the difference in my voting record and what you have in a guy like Mike Kehoe, I've always said only half-jokingly that Mike Kehoe would be a real force in the Democratic primary because he's a soft, moderate Republican that has done a lot of liberal things, raising the gas tax, helping grow the state budget, not standing up for life. He's trying to add exceptions to the heartbeat bill, which banned abortion in the state of Missouri. We've got enough problems on our hands fighting the abortionists that we don't have to fight Mike Kehoe. So Mike Kehoe is a Democrat. That's why he's not going to show up to these debates, because he's afraid everybody's going to find out, which they will. In the case of Jay Ashcroft, it's not that Jay Ashcroft's a bad guy, but I think he's weak. We have an issue going on right now where the state delegates that were selected at the state Republican convention to represent Donald Trump at the national convention have been basically hijacked by a state party that is the embodiment of the swamp right now. I've been out there saying that the Missouri Republican Party ought to restate that slate and stop disenfranchising all these Donald Trump supporters across the state. Jay Ashcroft was on that same slate with me, and yet Jay hasn't said anything. He's not willing to confront the swamp, and he's really never been put on a tough vote. So he's he's desperately trying to say all the right things. But I think that he's really he's falling behind in the polls, and folks are going to realize that if you want a proven conservative that has the voting record to match all the talk, then I'm really the only choice in the race.
The state Republican Governors Forum is Thursday night, and you can see State Senator Bill Eigel there. You can see Jay Ashcroft. Annie Fry will be moderating that debate. You can actually go to it. You can go to 971talk.com/events if you'd like to attend that debate, or you can listen to it live right here on 97.1. Bill Eigel, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me, guys. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, we'll see you, or we will hear you soon, one of the two. And by the way, we said today that if you have questions for any of the governor's candidates that you'd like Annie to consider asking at that debate on Thursday night, you can get on the live chat right now. Type it into YouTube, Annie Fry, and you will see not only the live chat come up there, and you can leave a question. I see a couple of those coming up right now. We'll kind of star those for Annie when she's back. But also, that is where the YouTube live chat poll of the day always is. Today, I haven't even mentioned this yet today. What impact will Trump's vice presidential pick have on the 2024 election? So it's not exactly top-of-the-line news today. Everybody's talking about Joe Biden, but it was just something that I saw yesterday, and I've seen this story like 3-4 times. So I never know whether he's really narrowed it down or if he just kind of keeps throwing things out there just to, keep the conversation about it. But Trump will do that, that he's narrowed it down to 3 candidates. I didn't even click on it because I didn't want to know, because it just seems to move around. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm not going to report on this because too often he does this. Mm-hmm. But the last couple that I've seen.
The guy is a showman and he knows what he's doing.
He knows how to use media. They call it earned media. It's free media, basically. So it's what he's doing. But the names that I've seen out there lately of the top 3 would be, tell me if this is the same 3 you hear. J.D. Vance.
Yep.
Marco Rubio. Which I don't know how that would work being from Florida.
Yeah, he can't, one of them can't be from Florida, so one of them has to declare residency in a different state.
So Marco Rubio of Georgia.
Some people were saying Arizona.
Yeah, I don't know. But he's one of the names. And then the third is Doug Burgum.
Yeah, the only one I would add is I think I've seen Tim Scott floating around there.
I would hope that he's at least part of the conversation.
But I don't know who I didn't look at the top 3 or anything like that.
And I chose not to.
And if you guys have been paying attention on Twitter, Annie has been on one and she has an idea about it, but maybe we'll let her tell you who she thinks it might be and why it makes so much sense.
We will do that. Today's question, though, what impact will Trump's VP pick have on the 2024 election? Your 3 choices are a lot, a little, or none. I have strong feelings about this. We'll share that later in the show. We also have some tickets to give away in this show. Train and REO Speedwagon are coming to town. Is it July 16th?
July 16th.
July 16th. I'm just making sure that I got the date right. We'll give away some free tickets to that show probably in the late 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock hour, right around then. This is the Annie Fry Show. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Everybody at the bar getting tips.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process process ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
How do you enjoy your backyard in these hot temperatures? How about a custom sunroom from my friends at Chesterfield Fence and Deck? Marc Cox here. This is a great time to call Chesterfield Fence and Deck because right now, you mention my name during the month of July, you're going to get 48 months interest-free financing on your next outdoor project with Chesterfield Fence and Deck. Maybe it is a custom sunroom, an all-season room where you can sit out there in the summer and you can sit in air conditioning and still enjoy the look out your back windows. Maybe it's a pergola or a screen room or a patio. They even do retaining walls. They can take care of whatever you need in the backyard. They do free estimates, right? And, of course, free project design, which is very important. Maybe you've got your own ideas for your backyard. They can help you make that a reality. You will love working with them. Better Business Bureau Torch Award winners at Chesterfield Fence and Deck. Go online today to chesterfieldfence.com.
If you're thinking of selling your home, I'm sure there are two things you want: certainty and the most money, right? Hi, it's Marc Cox, and if you've been listening to me for some time, you know the only agent I trust is Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, St. Louis real estate expert. Here's why she should be your first and only call when looking for an agent. Gloria doesn't make empty promises. No, she provides written guarantees. Now, what does this mean for you? Certainty. Now, certainty isn't the only thing you want. You also want the most money. Gloria is able to get her home sellers more money than the average agent because she already has the buyers. This is why Gloria will guarantee to sell your home at your agreed upon price, or she'll buy it. To get your guaranteed price, call St. Louis real estate expert Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888. Or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
But in many ways, worse than the terrible Democrats are the backstabbing rhino Republicans.
Bob Under attacked President Trump. As an anti-Trump delegate, Under conspired with never-Trumpers. No wonder Bob Under's been called Trump's worst nightmare, and why we can send him to Washington. Conservatives for American Excellence ain't paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. ConservativeSforAmericanExcellence.com.
More good news for Frederick Roofing, voted best roofing company by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Frederick Roofing.
314-645-2000.
Hey, today's Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll is, what impact? Thank you, Ryan. You know what? Annie just texted me. She said she's on the way in. She said she was going to be grading us. And then she also just messaged me, and she's like wanting to know where she's going to be at. Is she going to be in the spot that you're in now? Like, when she gets in here, should I bump you out over there? Or should I just say, no, you stay there, Ryan, and Annie, you go over to where Ryan usually is?
This is a conversation for off air, but I'm pretty much assuming she's going to be running the board.
Well, yeah, I was thinking about that. So she also wanted me to go to the chat and say, hey, chat, you tell us what we should do. But I'm leaning toward bumping Ryan out of the big chair after that. He's kind of making fun of me.
Brad. Andy's running the board.
All right, so what impact will Trump's VP pick have in the 2024 election? A lot, a little, or none? We want to know your vote. Jump on YouTube, search out Annie Fry, jump in the chat, tell us why and what you think. The time is 12:47. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
The Midwest Arms Collectors Gun Show is coming to the St. Charles Convention Center. They draw the biggest vendors from around the country. Marc Cox here. It's the St. Charles Gun Show, July 13th and 14th. Listen to the Marc Cox Morning Show all this week for your chance to win tickets.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
When Brad mentioned the time check, we did get a text from Annie saying that she is headed in. So I don't know whether she'll be here by the top of the hour or whether we'll continue into the first part of the hour. We'll see. But she's on her way in. She's had a personal matter. I'll let her explain that. I was texting with her over the weekend, though. So, Brad, I don't know if you knew this, but I was texting with Annie. Now, she was on a little trip. She went to Pittsburgh and Washington, D.C. and stuff, and had a good time. On that trip, I was like, shoot, I really need to know something because she's got connections that I don't have. And we thought that my wife had been bitten by a spider. Now, I still don't know whether that's the case. It's getting better. It's gotten a lot better, which usually is not the case if it's a brown recluse, which is what we thought it was. So we're still kind of like up in the air. But regardless, we're like, get this place
I was going to say, wait, you called Annie to ask if you should get rid of your spiders?
No.
That's like, you could have called me and asked me what Annie would say, and I could have told you that.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have called Dawn here on our chat, and she'd be like, no, listen.
Annie, should I get rid of the spiders in my house?
Or should I stay with them?
No, I actually was asking her to connect with me with Point Pest Control, which she did. And they came this morning. John from Point Pest has been in for X's and O's before. And so when he showed up this morning, I'm like, oh, hey, we've met before. And he treated our house. He was saying, look, it's raining. It's going to be raining pretty much all day and apparently night. I didn't know that it was going to be doing this all day.
This is the remnants of Hurricane Beryl, is it?
So that's what I was looking at the forecast yesterday, actually before Wiggins America, because it was one of the stories that we didn't get to. But it said that, and with these hurricanes and leftovers from tropical storms and stuff, they move, they change routes quite a bit.
Yeah.
You never really know. But the timing, I thought they had it pretty much down, that it was supposed to start this evening. And I think even Dave Murray said, afternoon, evening. I didn't suppose it was supposed to start this early.
Yeah, well, we had a little bit of rain yesterday, and so that, what did Dave call it, a juicy atmosphere?
Yeah.
Whenever the atmosphere is unsettled and you got a big storm, tropical depression, whatever it is at this point moving in, it can unsettle it. And if we had rain, it might have just pushed it in and it's just going to run all together. I don't know.
So John was there from Point Pest Control this morning. He was treating the inside of our house, but he said, look, if I spray the outside right now, it's just going to get washed away.
Yeah.
So he's going to come back and do the other part later, which is great to know. Because, I mean, these people could just come out and say, yeah, I'm doing the treatment and it'll be fine. And he's like, no, it won't be fine.
A less reputable place might do that.
Yeah. And so I thought that was cool of him to do that. And just to show up so quickly, because this just happened this weekend. Like I said, I was texting with Annie. But the other reason that I was going to have him come out, now things have changed. And Brad, thank you. Very good timing. Russell on the chat put up a comment here that says, Ryan, have your mouse eat the spiders. Now, okay, this has been quite a week or so. So the story with the mouse that I mentioned on air a couple days ago was not resolved at the time. Here's the way it happened. A week or two ago, like this is before the 4th, I was waking up at about dawn every morning, hearing this little like scratchy sound. And I figured there's something going on, but I have this automatic ice maker out in another room that I thought, well, maybe that thing's just clicking on.
It's scratching the walls.
Yeah.
What's that?
Maybe that's my automatic ice maker that's pooping in the corner. Like what?
Well, that's just ice maker turds.
I'm sure that's what it was. So I was like, it's probably nothing. And it was so light that I thought, gosh, but it's that time of day when everybody's still asleep. There's nothing else in the house. You can hear everything. So I'm like, maybe I'm just hearing, paper being blown or something. It could be anything. But it got to be where it was every day at dawn. I was hearing the same thing and it would wake me up. And I'm like, okay, this isn't just some random thing. This has got to be a mouse because it can hear the little scratchy. And it was like not that far from me. So I'm like, okay, I think I must have to deal with this. So I started moving furniture. Okay, now I'm seeing some mouse poop. Now I know for sure we have a mouse in my basement, which we have never had before. And I told the story about, the minute I reported that to my family, which I did not do right away, it became like World War III. It was Armageddon in our house. We had to figure out where this mouse was. And I didn't expect this, Brad. The boys of the house were like, ew, we got to destroy this thing. And my youngest especially would wake up as soon as he woke up and come into my room and be like, let's go after this thing. Okay. All right, dude. All right. Calm down. But my wife and my daughter were like, but it's so cute. And they named it Howie the Maui. And I'm like, you guys, this is not what I was expecting. I thought you'd be freaked out by it. And they were like, yes, you need to deal with it, but it's so cute, I'm sure. So I'm like feeling kind of conflicted going after this thing.
I wouldn't.
So I put up some mouse traps. I put up some glue traps around where I had heard it. And surprise, surprise, Ryan Wiggins has a candy drawer in the basement. It had gotten into the candy drawer. And so I knew, okay, it's around here, but I don't know exactly where it is. It had eaten 1 or 2 of my Cadbury eggs. I was pretty upset about that. Left over from Easter.
A little jerk.
I know. So I put these glue traps in. I wake up late one morning. I was late coming in here. And I'm like, oh, shoot, I need to go into work. I slept in. I found the mouse on a glue trap that morning, the morning I was late. And I'm like, oh, yes, I caught this thing. It's just going to sit there. It looked like it was dead already. I'll just get it when I come back home from work. Come back home. The thing has chewed its way out of that glue trap. And so I don't know whether it's still got part of the trap on it. I don't know, but it was determined.
The will to live is a powerful thing.
Dude, this thing had the will and the means to get off of that glue trap. It was unfortunately one of the weaker ones that I had. Mm-hmm. Like, you got the really good ones, and I had some old ones. It found one of the old ones. So I'm like, oh no, I had the thing trapped. And now I have to go through this whole process again because I don't know where it went in the basement now. I knew it was right near my candy drawer. Now it's anywhere. So I set the candies that it liked most from my candy drawer on glue traps throughout my basement. 3 days go by. This whole weekend goes by. No mouse until, no, it was Friday because that's not a day off for us. Thursday was, Friday wasn't. I call into the Marc Cox Morning Show. While I'm on with Ryan Recker, I look over. There it is staring at me. Right next to that dang Cadbury egg.
He's looking at you like, hey.
And I was like, but I'm on the air. So I'm doing my call in Marc Cox Morning Show. So I'm like, okay, so I finish up that call. I grab that thing. I don't know really what to do. So Brad, tell me if this is inhumane. But I grab another glue trap and I just put it on top of it and smashed it. And then I threw it in an old cooler and threw it in the trash can so that if it started to rot, it wouldn't stink. Look, Point Pest Control probably would have done a little bit better job than me, but I did get that mouse. So I want credit for that. Hey, Annie Fry is on her way back into the studio to get this thing back on track. We have Jay Ashcroft coming up in the next hour. We also have Marc Lauder at the beginning, the Chief Communications Officer at America First Policy Institute, to talk about the downfall of Joe Biden. I mean, it's happening right in front of our eyes. It's really an amazing American story that's one for the history books, and it is happening now. Let's talk about that when we come back after the top of the hour here on the Annie Fry Show.
Oh, baby, don't you forget about me.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon from my friends at Zero Res, and the month of July is National Carpet Cleaning Month. Because of that, I have a great offer from my friends at Zero Res. And by the way, I started off the month with some pet accidents that I needed the help of Zero Res to come into my home and clean up, and they're always there for you on that. But here's a great deal for you. If you haven't had the carpets done in a while, Zero Res is offering 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at $129 and the 4th room free. Carpet, tile, rugs, upholstery, everything in your home can be Zero Resified by the pros. They have great teams here in St. Louis, and they can get you on the schedule very, very quickly. I've loved them for more than 10 years, and because we do have what we call the Reardon Zoo with the animals, every once in a while you do have a pet accident, and you need their help. They have awesome service with biotreatments, etc., that can help you clean out those stains and odors. But take advantage of the July deal. 3 rooms, Zero Resified, starting at $129. The 4th room free, 474-2020. Online, ZeroResSTL.com. You spell it backward or forward, it spells the same. Zero Res.
I get asked a lot where your thermostat setting should be at in this kind of heat. My answer is wherever you want to set it for your comfort level. It's your comfort, it's your house, it's your money, so put it where you like it. And the other answer to that is wherever she says she wants it at. See, that's an easy one there. So I just wanted to clear that up, and Any issues with your air conditioner? Need me to come out? Prices? Need a new one? Need one repaired, fixed? Call me, Bart Inman. It's one easy number in Missouri and Illinois. The only number to call. 314-293-2600. The easiest of numbers, 314-293-2600. Or on the internet, it's bartinman.com. That is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
If you have an IRS problem, getting accurate legal advice could help get this all behind you right now. Hi, I'm local attorney Lance Drury with the Drury Law Firm. The IRS made new changes that make it easier to settle your IRS debt for a reduced amount. Not all our clients qualify, but under the IRS's new Fresh Start program, you may be able to resolve your IRS problems quickly and for less money. But don't wait. An IRS problem is a legal problem. You need someone who understands both the IRS and the law. Don't trust your tax problems to some TV personality. The Drury Law Firm has handled thousands of IRS cases over the last 15 years, and your first visit is completely free and confidential. And I'll tell you on the spot exactly how much it will cost. So if you're facing IRS wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120, or go to Lance, D-R-U-R-Y, law.com. If you have IRS issues, you need a local attorney. You need me, Lance Drury.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Closed-door consultations. Lisa Brady, Fox News. House and Senate Democrats holding separate meetings to discuss the fallout from the president's debate performance and his vow to stay in the race.
Democrats are showing two things: division and avoidance. Some are very vocal in their support of President Biden. Others were outspoken with their concerns, but then dialed back criticism. Mostly Democrats are ducking the press corps. Many would not even respond to questions. Others said they were rushing to meetings or said the deal was done after the president won the primaries.
Fox's Chad Pergram in Washington. Republicans accuse Democrats of a years-long cover-up that amounts to a security issue. House Speaker Mike Johnson telling reporters,
what we're projecting from the White House is not strength right now, at a very dangerous time around the world. And that's why the American people are so alarmed by this.
Tonight, former President Trump rallies in Florida ahead of next week's Republican National Convention, while President Biden hosts an event a few hours from now at the beginning of a NATO summit in Washington, where more help for Ukraine is on the agenda. A second day of closing arguments in the corruption trial of a sitting U.S. senator.
The lead prosecutor in Senator Bob Menendez's case acknowledged the seemingly complicated and tangled business dealings, but said the timeline showed any time the senator's wife Nadine was going to get paid, Menendez jumped into action. The senator's charged with bribery, extortion, fraud, and failing to register as a foreign agent. He's accused of helping three businessmen, one of whom pled guilty and testified against the senator and the other two businessmen. But he's also accused of assisting the government of Egypt, including by ghostwriting a letter to help the country unlock frozen U.S. aid.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. Senator Menendez denies knowledge of any bribes. The defense team blaming his wife, who now has breast cancer and is facing a separate trial. America is listening to Fox News.
When you get nachos, tacos, empanadas, spicy queso with jalapenos, Pepto-Bismol's there. Pepto-Bismol provides fast, effective relief from nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, and diarrhea. All the things that can happen unexpectedly on vacation. So before you travel, pack the Pepto. Pepto-Bismol.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Unsettled times continue as we go through our Tuesday afternoon with periods of rain and increasing winds, 79 for the high. Again, this is the moisture coming up from the old hurricane in the western Gulf. The focus, St. Louis south and southeast. Tonight, periods of rain and thunderstorms, windy, heavy rain at times, 65. Wednesday, partly to mostly sunny, maybe a spot storm at 84. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Did you know at Ruler Foods you can now schedule a delivery online? First place you got to go is rulerfoods.com. You can find the Ruler Foods closest to you if you want to stop by and swing through the aisles of the very well and smartly laid out grocery store to take in the produce that they have. I think the last time we were there, my daughter and I, we got avocados and she wanted kiwi. She likes kiwi. So the produce, I can stand by that as somebody. I'm always putting produce in my cart when we shop at Ruler Foods. The great brands that we shop everywhere else, you can find those at Ruler Foods, but they also carry Kroger brands at Ruler Foods prices, and I love buying those brands just specifically to save even more. When you understand what they have at Ruler Foods and you've walked through the one closest to you, then you might be thinking, gosh, I'd really love the convenience of delivery, and you're in luck because Ruler Foods has just implemented delivery services as well. If you want to find the Ruler Foods closest to you, see the latest advertisement for the savings that you can enjoy, or schedule a delivery, go to rulerfoods.com.
Hey, it's Marc Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
Who are you voting for in the Missouri governor's primary? Join me, Annie Fry, for the Republican Governors Forum this Thursday. Register for this free event presented by the Republican Central Committee of St. Louis County at 971talk.com/events.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is anchor man, not anchor lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
The fighting spirit and pride and courage that served the country so well 4 years ago helped Joe Biden win. We'll bring the ticket down this time. He just has to step down because he can't win. And my colleagues need to recognize that a dismissive letter is not going to change any mind.
Mike Quigley, that is a Democrat from Illinois, coming out of a closed-door meeting that Congress had today, at least the House has had today. They are very divided. The leadership is mostly saying, yeah, this is the guy. We have full faith in this guy. Pay no attention to the meeting that we just had that was all about possibly not having faith in this guy. But he is currently the president of the United States, not just a candidate for office. He is the leader of the free world. Marc Lauder is here to talk about these very things. Marc, thanks for being here.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Marc, this meeting today took me a little bit off guard. I know that a lot of conversations have been happening like this, but I didn't know they were going to have a full-on let's talk about how we get rid of the guy meeting behind closed doors. But so far, I don't think they've figured out how to do it.
Well, it's a therapy session for them, but it's, typical with Democrats, they're missing the point. They're losing not just because of Biden's age and obviously, the fact that he's losing a step. Remember, he was losing before the debate, and he was losing in all of the swing states before the debate. He's losing by more now, but it's because his policies suck. They're not good. Inflation, gas prices, the border, the wars, crime, EV mandates, you name it. And so here's what the Democrats get wrong. It doesn't matter whether you put Joe Biden top ticket or cackling Kamala or greasy Gavin. They're all going to have the same horrible policies that the American people largely reject. Just pick who you want to lose with. I'm fine with that.
Marc Lauder is Chief Communications Officer at America First Policy Institute. It's funny that you mentioned that because on my way in today, I was listening to some different media. I was listening to some radio. I read some stories this morning. It seems like the talking point that I'm hearing, not just from the White House. I mean, the White House is going to say things like, he doesn't even have cognitive problems, like KJP was saying in the press conference yesterday. But so we know that they're just going to spin. But I've heard people even locally here saying things like, you know what? The guy has had a great presidency. He's just lost his fastball. So, yeah, maybe you do need to get rid of him because of the cognitive problems. But, gosh, what a great 4 years this has been. Is this really what they're trying to go with?
I mean, they tried to sell that for 4 years, and it hasn't worked. I mean, people can't afford groceries, the gas. Look at the 12 million illegals they've let in through the open border. And now, by the way, the White House came out yesterday and said, we're going to veto a Republican bill that would require you to prove proof of citizenship to vote. So they want illegals voting in our federal elections. Why not ban it? I mean, it's just all of these crazy left policies that people have largely said no to. You know, when you take the politics out of it, take Trump versus Biden out of it, when you look at the Real Clear Politics average on the issues, Joe Biden is disapproved 60 to 65% on every major policy issue. Inflation, economy, crime, border, national security, foreign policy, all 60 to 65% disapprove. 2/3 of the American people think our country's headed on the wrong track. That's not MAGA versus Trump versus Biden. That's not MAGA versus what. I mean, that's just people saying this is how I feel about where we are today. And that's why they're losing.
Yeah, Mark, I think one of the biggest surprises to me, and I watch polls like crazy. I just, for whatever reason, I just like the numbers. And so whenever a new one comes out, I examine it. I'll even dive into the crosstabs if I have time. What amazed me was the poll that talked about, and I don't remember who issued this, but it was about the main talking point, one of the main, at least, talking points of the Democrats up until now, which the main one is we can't run Biden, I think. But it was that we have to save democracy. I mean, celebrities in Hollywood, this is what they would say. Yes, Joe Biden, because we have to save democracy. But the poll said that America actually trusts Trump more on that issue than even Biden.
Right. I mean, it's a typical backfire that everything the Democrats do is backfiring on them. Because when you say, I mean, they are the so-called party of defending democracy, yet they think it's okay to persecute, prosecute, and possibly jail their political opponent. They tried to take him off the ballot. They're trying to take RFK off the ballot. They did so in the primary process. They refused to basically stage a primary with Dean Phillips. And now they're fighting to keep RFK Jr. It's a threat to democracy to attack a judge unless we're doing it and it's the Supreme Court. Oh, and by the way, we'll also pack the Supreme Court if we don't get what we want from them. I mean, people see through this nonsense. And while it's great and it's fun to watch the Democrats self-destroy and self-destruct over the Biden cognitive issues, they're still missing the underlying point, which is the American people are rejecting their policies. Now, we'll talk about Biden. And they do have a decision to make, but it's really not going to be the decision they think it is.
Marc Lauder, is America at a place right now where they're even thinking about policy? Because like you said, I mean, Trump had been winning this in the polls up until the debate. Of course, the conversation has shifted, at least on Capitol Hill, to the Biden disaster that is impending. But is there any one issue that you think that Trump should be out there talking about right now, or should he just kind of wait and let this play out?
Well, he's obviously doing the great thing right now of just sitting there and letting it play out. But, I mean, they'll be talking policy. I mean, you look about just yesterday, they announced what the convention next week is going to be about. Monday, day one, make America wealthy again. Day two, make America safe again, which is about the border and crime. Day three, make America strong again, which is about our military and national defense. And then day four, the day of the president's speech, make America great again. I mean, there's your platform right there.
Yeah, Marc Lauder, appreciate your time so much. I know you got to run a little bit early today, so thanks for stopping by the Annie Frey Show.
Thank you.
So what he was just talking about there is an issue that we've talked about a little bit before. And Brad, I'll ask you this question just because it's one that I'm like, do I ask that publicly or do I just sort of sit on it? Because it's like percolating. But is this actually a good thing that we're not talking about policy? And let me frame that question, because the first thing you're saying is, well, of course not. We want to talk about policy. That's why you're supposed to elect a leader, is the policies that they bring. But let's say that Joe Biden absolutely loses this election. Say he's the candidate, first of all, and then he loses this election badly.
Mm-hmm.
Will Democrats then say, you know what, it was a bad candidate. Let's stick with these terrible policies that we're just saying with Marc Lauder, they don't work. America's not liking them. But Democrats could actually stick with them. Is that actually good for Republicans? It seems like it's bad for the country regardless.
Well, I mean, I think the Democrats are going to say that regardless. There would be, like, they could have the best candidate in the world. And if they lost, they'd be like, well, that's because the candidate was horrible. It wasn't because of our policies. Because overall, the polls show that our stuff is popular.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, no, it's not, because people are not happy with where the economy is. They're not happy with going to the gas station to pay extra at the pump. They're not happy with this unfettered immigration into the United States. They're not happy with any of this. I would venture a guess to say that they're not happy with the wars that are breaking out across the world as we speak. They can't be happy with it. They're not happy with it. The question is, are they linking these things with Democrat policies?
Yeah, I would love to ask publicly some of these people that I was listening to today and reading when they would say, and these aren't politicians. Of course, politicians are like the Democrat politicians, maybe even the media, like nationally, the White House, they're going to say, well, he's been a great president. He just doesn't have a full deck anymore. It doesn't mean he's done a bad job. He's still the guy. You know, that's the thing we're going to hear. But I would love to just sit down and not necessarily aggressively debate somebody, but genuinely ask them, what is it about his presidency that you think has been great? Because it wasn't just, oh, he's done okay. It was like, no, he has had a great 3.5 years.
Yeah, nobody has gotten as much done as Joe Biden has gotten done. And I think we really need to stop asking the question about how much did they get done and start asking how good was what they got done.
What did they get done?
Yeah. Like, all right, he got a lot done. He hung all the shutters on the house. And then you look at the house and the shutters are kind of crooked and not painted the same color and, you know, the wrong material, all of this other stuff. It doesn't matter how much you've done. It matters the quality of what you've done. Quality over quantity any day of the week. He jammed a bunch of stuff through because they had control of the House and the Senate and the executive branch, and that's how laws get passed.
Yeah.
That's why a bunch of stuff went through. I mean, that's the other thing, too. Like, they talk about Joe Biden's resume. Nobody has a resume like his. And it's like, well, let's actually look at his resume and what he's done and how well like, the decisions that he's made, the judges that he's gone after, i.e. Clarence Thomas. He tried to, bury Clarence Thomas. If you go back and watch those things, Clarence Thomas has just picked him apart like cotton candy. Joe Biden has been in office for a long time. That doesn't mean he's good at it. All it means is he's good at convincing the people of Delaware that they want to put him back in there.
I've heard radio people say, because there will be awards, somebody will win an award and everybody will talk about it. And I've heard radio people go, you know what, you do anything long enough, somebody will give you an award for it.
Yeah.
which is true. I mean, it does,
Radio Hall of Fame, here I come.
Yeah, exactly. We just got a few more years. We'll get there too. But the one issue that I've heard people say is, well, he's really turned around the economy. But that's one that I would like to just say, let's take 60 seconds here, you and me, and let me just ask you, do you think that he and the Democrat policies solved inflation? Or do you think they contributed to them? Because if you actually think that Democrats solved inflation, then what you're saying is for about 2.5 years, we saw record continued inflation multiplied on top of itself. So it wasn't just, it went up and then it went down. It went up, it stayed up, and then it continued to basically go up.
Yes.
Because that's what it had. That's what it looks like when inflation continues to go up. It's not just like, the number's up. It's like compounded. So on the other side of that thing, you should see deflation if it was that bad.
Here's one thing I want you to look at whenever you're looking at people that say the economy is good. Look at their economic situation. Because the people that say the economy are good are the ones that are looking at the stock market. Well, the stock market's way up. Well, the people that have vested interest in the stock markets are usually more wealthy people. So what Biden has done essentially through his economic policy is created a two-tiered economy. one that destroys the lower class and really helps the really wealthy and rich people.
So bringing inflation down to zero would actually be something, but you actually just brought it down to a little above average, and that's good. I mean, that sounds kind of dumb, doesn't it, Annie?
Did you make a sandwich out of your mouse with glue boards? Did that happen?
That's what he said.
That's real.
I don't think any of this inflation stuff you were talking about. I think you just, when I walked in, you just started talking about it to sound fancy.
Yeah, we were just talking about candy and TV. And
when you were telling the story in Wiggins America about, this is weird to do this without headphones on, and from this chair. I'm in Ryan's chair right now.
Yeah.
When you were telling the story about laying all the glue boards down in your basement or whatever with the mouse's favorite candy next to it, all I could picture is you in the middle of the night going down there and getting stuck eating all the candy with glue boards all over you. Like, I can't help myself.
He's reached out of the candy drawer in the dark.
All the good candy wasted on that mouse.
There's
That's not fair.
There's like socks stuck in the...
My family comes down.
He walks into Mrs. Wiggins like, I made a bad decision.
I need help.
I'm laying at the bottom of the stairs covered in glue boards and Cadbury cream. Did you get the mouse, Ryan?
No, but the candy was so delicious.
You call the point fest?
That's like the guy. That's like the character in Willy Wonka that they cut out. I've never even seen that movie, but I've heard.
Watch the original. Watch the original
I'm
first.
Gonna just pass on all of it. I think I've made it this far. I don't need to. I've heard good things about Wonka, the latest one that came out.
It's not bad. It's just the original's so good. It had such better music. Inflation, huh?
I'm glad Point Pest Control was able to help.
Yeah.
They were quick to act. They were happy to help you.
They came out this morning, and then they're coming back because it was raining.
Your problem's just so huge.
Yeah, because the spiders were so big.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you what. You were telling me the story about your wife and the bites and what they look like, and it was everything I could do. Like the mental breakdown I was fighting off while you were telling me these things. I was trying so hard not to text back about your wife, but make it about me because I was not handling her situation well.
It wasn't good. She sleeps very sound.
Yeah, apparently.
What happened was, what Point Pest Control determined was the spider was so big.
Oh, shut up.
That it actually punched through one of the panes of the window.
Shut up.
And then crawled through, like, you know how an octopus...
You're trying to steal Point Pest Control as a client from me. I know what you're trying to do.
He punched through and unlocked the door.
Yeah.
And let himself in.
That's what they did. But my wife was sound asleep, and it just came and basically gnawed on her leg, like a turkey leg at Six Flags.
I hate you. Why did
Annie's back.
Why did I hurry
Annie's
in here?
back, everybody.
Hey, I'm not doing this. This next interview is all yours.
Oh, no. You're here now.
No, absolutely not. No, I am going to be moderating that debate for the Missouri governors Thursday.
Yeah.
So I got in the car during Senator Eigel's conversation. It was really interesting to hear what he had to say to you. You did a great job with the interview. And so I'm going to listen to this next one. And then I guess, I don't know, did anybody weigh in? I'm sitting in your chair right now.
Everybody that has weighed in has said you need to be in his chair and let him keep the wheel.
But as the person who's in the chair,
you feel like a big boy ready to make some decisions, don't you?
Yeah. You know why I feel like a big boy? This chair works.
That's the first
Some of the
thing.
chairs
I
on that
sat
side
down
of the
in
room.
this chair. I'm like, this chair sucks.
See, now you know what I deal with. The
now
host
you
gets
know what
the
I deal
working
with.
chair. Ooh la la.
Yeah.
It's not the big chair.
All right. Well, I'm going to sit here and get my stuff out and watch comments come in, and I'll decide as we have. Who's Ashcroft is coming up next?
Yes. Jay Ashcroft.
Figure out what's going on.
All right. You going to take us out? No, you're not, I guess. You didn't know how to do it.
No, I'm not prepared for anything today.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show with me, Ryan Wiggins, on 97.1 FM Talk.
The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas & Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us, too, in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Honesty, integrity, humility, purpose. We're looking for people that share these values. As an officer in the Springfield, Missouri Police Department, you'll train in a state-of-the-art facility, learn special skills, and most importantly, learn that being humble through it all builds a better community. Our next training academy starts soon. Work hard and dedicate yourself to the craft, and I promise you'll have some amazing opportunities. Visit gospd.com for more information. That's gospd.com. Brought to you by the Springfield, Missouri Police Department.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
I occasionally have nerve discomfort in my hands, so the things I love to do...
Let's play something, Grandma.
...became difficult as I got older.
If you have occasional stabbing and burning in your hands and feet, try Nervive Nerve Relief. Nervive's clinically studied dose of alpha-lipoic acid reduces occasional nerve discomfort in as little as 7 days with continued daily use. Say yes to healthy nerves with Nervive Nerve Relief. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent.
Max Shows presents the St. Charles Gun Show. Celebrate the Second Amendment at the premier gun show in the region. Shop hundreds of tables with thousands of guns, knives, military surplus, tactical gear, and more. See one-of-a-kind antique weapons, new product demonstrations, and thousands of accessories. For the largest selection of rifles, handguns, and more, you gotta go to the gun show. This Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the St. Charles Convention Center. Visit maxshows.com.
You're not going to want to miss this. Diamonds Direct summer sale starts next weekend. For 3 days only, next Friday through Sunday, get 20% off. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, and more. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off. And designers are flying in from New York and LA to showcase their latest trends. That's 20% off, plus $100 off with an appointment and designer trunk shows. Tons of engagement rings on sale, too. 20% off starts next Friday. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. 9 out of 10 homes are under-insulated. Is yours? Did you know that there's an R value associated with insulation? To find out your R value or for a free insulation estimate, visit aircomfortservice.com.
The Marc Reardon Show.
Megan Reese is the White House correspondent for the Daily Caller.
Really hard to deny something such as an approval rating. Poll after poll are coming in and saying that you're losing across key swing states. You maybe need to look at your messaging.
Weekdays from 3 to 6. This is the Annie Fry Show.
On a cloudy day.
And we're going to make sure that we reduce the price of housing. We're going to make sure we build 2 million new units. We're going to make sure we cap rents so corporate greed can't take over. The combination, what I was left with in corporate greed, is the reason why we're in this problem right now. In addition to that, we're in a situation where if you take a look at all that was done in his administration, he didn't do much at all. By the time he left, things were in chaos, literally chaos. And so we put things back together. We created, I said, those jobs. We make sure we had a situation where we brought down the price of prescription drugs, which is a major issue for many people, to $15 for a insulin shot as opposed to $400. No senior has to pay more than $200 for any drug, all the drugs they can include beginning next year. And the situation is and we're going to make that available to everybody, to all Americans. So we're working to bring down the price around the kitchen table, and that's what we're going to get done.
That's a heck of an answer. Debates can change things is the point of why I played that for a week and a half now. We've been dealing with the aftermath of the debate. And one person who knows that debates are important is Jay Ashcroft. He's Missouri Secretary of State. He's a candidate for governor of Missouri. He's going to be at the Missouri Governors Forum on Thursday night, and he's here right now. Hello, sir.
Thanks for having me. Glad to be there.
Yeah, looking forward to this. And I'll ask you this question. It's one that I've asked before, but going into a debate, the president went away for 11 days, went to Camp David, had all kinds of people prepping him, and that's what we got. I got to ask you, Mr. Ashcroft, how do you prepare for a debate?
One of the best ways I prepare for a debate is I travel the state listening to the people of this state. If you want to lead this state, if you want to be a true public servant, you need to know what the people of this state are dealing with. You need to know how government is causing problems for them so that you can execute solutions to make life better for them. So for me, a lot of it is just getting out, talking to people, letting them ask me questions. They bring up things. I'm like, hey, I need to know more about that so I can come up with a solution. That helps me with forums and debates.
Jay Ashcroft, when people approach you, you were at our debate night coverage at Dave & Buster's here out in St. Louis. I saw, people walking up and wanting to meet you and shaking hands and stuff. What is it that people bring up to you that they're most concerned about for this state that you say, I've got the solution for that?
It varies, but I'd say the number one thing right now are economic issues. The price of gas, the lieutenant governor's tax hike on gas that took it up 12.5 cents. The fact that they're trying to put food on the table. They want their kids to participate in athletic and academic activities. They're working multiple jobs to make that happen. They go to the grocery store and they see people, if not themselves, having to take stuff back to the shelves because of this outrageous economy that Joe Biden or whoever's actually running the things has brought to us. And I talk a lot about the need to cut taxes here in Missouri, to get rid of tax hike Mike's gas tax, to get rid of our state income tax, to no longer be penalizing people for working and subsidize people that don't.
I think I've heard you mention before that the state's budget has ballooned. Now, of course, we're all from Illinois. Annie's going to be moderating that debate, I think, because we're not necessarily voting in Missouri, so impartial. But we hear about Missouri's problems being here, of course, and one of those is that the state's budget has gotten so big over the last few years. A lot of that's federal money that's going to be drying up. What would you do as governor to either keep things afloat, or what would you cut to make sure that Missourians didn't have to feel that once that federal money dries up?
Well, they are going to feel it. They're going to feel the government getting out of their way when we cut it, and the freedom to make their own decisions and spend their money how they want to. There's this idea from liberals that life is worse if the government can't spend your money. I think history has shown that we, the people, know how to spend our money better, more efficiently, in ways that really help us. So I'm not concerned about the government somehow making up for that loss of revenue. I'm concerned about making sure we cut government enough to unleash the full potential of the people of Missouri.
You people are logging on to the Annie Fry Show stream right now, and they were earlier too. We were asking if they had questions for the debate tomorrow night, and a couple of those, one of them at least that I flagged that I saw just a little bit too late earlier, but I said, I want to ask Jay Ashcroft that. is what when people come up to you and they say, how about school choice? How does Missouri, it's a priority. I think it's one that we talk about a lot, but how would this state get to a place where school choice is a reality?
Great question. It's easily done. It's my number one issue. I started a legislative retreat on education reform back in 2018. It's something that I've been pushing the legislature and other statewide officials to do. Here's how we do it. We take the money that would normally go directly to the school and we put that into an education savings account for the parent. If they want their child to continue going to the public school where they go to, because it's not only a good school but a good fit for their child, that money just gets sent there for the tuition. If they want to homeschool their child, they can use that money for homeschooling and for tutoring and that sort of thing. If they want to send their child to a private institution, they can use that money to send their child to the private institution. We get government out of the decision-making process of what's best for Johnny and Jane. We let mom and dad make that decision because no one will ever love your kids as much as mom does.
Jay Ashcroft is here talking about school choice. He's a candidate for governor of Missouri. He's currently the Missouri Secretary of State. That is one of those issues, Jay, that is very, very close to my heart. I just think school choice is so, so important. And it's one of the leading, you almost hate to use the word progressive, but it really is progress when it comes to conservative issues. Speaking kind of on a bigger scale, since you said that's your number one issue, what problems would that solve, more socially than anything? Because there's the nuts and bolts of it, which you were just talking about. But why, if somebody's listening and they don't really know much about the issue, why should they embrace that issue at all?
Well, first of all, it gets rid of the need for the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, which is not helping. Right now in the state of Missouri, fewer than 25% of our eighth graders are proficient in math and reading. What we're doing now isn't working. Secondly, for people like myself that are concerned with not only what we aren't teaching in schools, reading, writing, arithmetic, but also what we are teaching in our schools, DEI and all sorts of woke social stuff that should have nothing to do with schools. When you are the parent and you control where those dollars go, you can make sure that your children are going to a school that's going to actually be teaching them, that's going to be educating them with the values that you believe in. You can go ahead and find that teacher that is the right fit for your children, and you can support and empower that teacher. This will also help teachers. Right now, we have a tremendous number of school districts across our state where arguably less than half of the money they spend on education actually gets to the classroom. When you have a teacher that can go to the administration where she teaches or he teaches and can say, look, you see all these students? They're not here for this school. They're here because I'm a good teacher. And either you support me and give me the tools I need to teach them and support me the way I deserve, or I'm taking these children to the school down the street where they'll do that. It puts parents in charge. It allows parents to make sure that they're being taught the right thing. It empowers teachers. It's the answer.
Jay Ashcroft, we had, so you'll be at the debate, the Governor's Forum on Thursday night. Bill Eigel will be there too. We had him on earlier. And we asked this question, and I'm going to ask it of you. What of illegal immigration? Obviously, every state is a border state now.
Yep.
We're being affected by this just as much as really any other Midwestern state, which you never really thought would be an issue that we'd be talking about here in 2024, but we are. How does a Governor Jay Ashcroft deal with illegal immigration in Missouri?
Well, I was the first person running for governor to call for sending troops to the border. I was the first person running for governor to call for a declaration of an invasion under the United States Constitution. I've been the first person to call, as running for governor, to call for the state to take back over control of the St. Louis City Police Department so that they will be funded and they will make sure that when they arrest, when they detain an illegal immigrant, they are turned over to the federal individuals responsible for deporting them. I've also fought Kansas City. They've been suing me, trying to stop from having to fully fund their police. We need to make sure they're funded, they stay under state control, so that when they encounter an illegal alien, they will be apprehended and they will be turned over for deportation. I'm the only elected official running for the nomination of governor that has not supported taxpayer funds for illegal immigrants. I'm proud of that. We should cut off all taxpayer benefits for illegal immigrants. We should not subsidize them. It's great to talk about stopping them at the wall. We need to do that. But as long as we're paying them to be here, which my opponents have voted to do, we will never get rid of them. And, of course, we need a governor that can go to court and can fight this. Unfortunately, what used to just be done through the legislation, now we are finding these fights end up in court. I'm the only individual running for governor with that experience, not only in our courts, but in front of the United States Supreme Court, fighting back against federal overreach, and I will continue to do that.
Well, I was going to ask you that kind of in conclusion here, since we're going into Thursday night, the Missouri Governors Forum. Annie Frey will be moderating that. I don't know if you've heard of her. She's around once in a while here. She's actually in the room, Jay. I'm just kidding. She just got here. But I want to ask you, going into that debate, Bill Eigel will be there. Mike Kehoe will not. How do you differentiate yourself? Because we're all from Illinois. We're looking across the river going, man, Missouri's got some good guys. How do you differentiate yourself against these other guys and say, no, I actually am the one you want in the primary?
Well, first of all, it's pretty sad that Joe Biden can at least show up for debates and our lieutenant governor can't. I understand he doesn't want to defend his record of wanting to make it easier to get an abortion. He doesn't want to defend his record of not standing up against tax hikes. He doesn't want to defend his record of growing government. I'm just going to be there to talk about my record, to let people see what I've done. We have a lot of what I would call even-yeared conservatives, convenient conservatives. I've actually been a consistent conservative. I've gotten things done. I've always supported initiative petition reform, and I've been the one leading the charge. I'm not like other people that claim they stand for it, and yet they're the ones that have, well, frankly, they've filibustered in the state Senate. I've always been in favor of protecting our land from foreign ownership, not like my other two opponents who have both voted to sell our land to foreign entities. I think people just need to look at the record. I haven't been in the legislature when they've doubled our budget. I wasn't in the legislature when they passed the largest tax increase in the history of the state. And you'd like to think that if a Republican is willing to filibuster initiative petition reform, they could at least filibuster the largest tax increase in the history of the state.
Jay Ashcroft is Missouri's Secretary of State. He is running for governor. Really looking forward to Thursday night, Jay.
It's going to be great.
Yeah, and we will see you then. And of course, if you are listening now, you can listen then as well. We will be broadcasting that event live as Annie moderates. If you ever have wanted to talk to Annie Frey, by the way, I think now is probably the best possible time because she is very, very active in the live chat of the show that is currently taking place. So if you're just like, man, I really had this burning question on my mind.
You've been doing a pretty good job.
Thank you very much. But
you don't know what to do because I said something nice.
I do.
You're starting to panic.
Like, uh-oh. Would you say great job?
I said what I said. Okay. I would say you're doing your goodest job.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I'm going to find something from Biden before we get out of this. Here we go.
Move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we can do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either.
Am I at least doing that good?
I don't have headphones on, so
no,
I
you
couldn't
didn't
hear
hear any of that. Doesn't matter.
Sorry.
Annie's back. This is the Annie Frey Show, and we'll be back.
Much honey, the bees in the me.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Than the birds in the trees.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential. But finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process, ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
Are you ready to smell better naked? I'm Dr. Shannon Klingman, the OBGYN creator of Lumi, the whole body deodorant that's clinically proven to control odor for 72 hours on pits, feet, privates, and beyond. It's pH optimized to safely and effectively control odor anywhere you have it, but wish you didn't. Plus, it's proven to work better than a shower with soap alone. Whether you shower twice a day or 3 times a week, Lumi works better. And who doesn't want zero body odor? With over 200,000 5-star reviews, I'm so sure you're going to love it, or you can return it for free.
There's a special offer for listeners. Use code 500 and get 15% off your first purchase with code 500. Like the Lumi Starter Pack, Acidified Body Wash, or new Lumi Plus Sweat Control. That's LUME deodorant.com, code 500 for 15% off your first purchase. Love it or return it for free. That's LUME deodorant.com, code 500 to save 15% today.
Gain peace of mind that your flooring and carpet installation will be done right the first time when you hire the experts at Michael's Flooring Outlet. They give all their clients attentive personal service, even bring toys for the kids of the household. It's a family-owned and operated business for 25 plus years. They make sure you make the right choice for your home. So if you have carpets or hard floors, you're going to be happy for years to come. 3 convenient locations in St. Charles County, 116 Main Street, in Old Town St. Peters at Mid-Rivers and Highway 70, in West County on Olive, and the store in Darden Prairie. Michael's Flooring Outlet, igotfloor.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been injured in a car wreck, you need the best. Let us make your case our cause. Car accident? Call Onder Law for a free review at 314 or 618-9000000.
Today's Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll: what impact will Trump's VP pick have on the 2024 election? Will it be a lot, a little bit, or none at all? We want to know your answers. So what you need to do is jump on YouTube, type in Annie Fry, get in the chat. The poll will be there. Vote in the poll. And then leave a comment in the chat and tell us why you voted the way you voted. We might feature your chat later on in the show. The time is 1:45. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
The Midwest Arms Collectors Gun Show is coming to the St. Charles Convention Center. They draw the biggest vendors from around the country. Marc Cox here. It's the St. Charles Gun Show, July 13th and 14th. Listen to the Marc Cox Morning Show all this week for your chance to win tickets.
Yo, tell you what I want, what I really, really want. Don't tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. Don't tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I wanna really, really,
The
really
Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
And the whole time the split screen is killing Biden. Yep. Because he's got his mouth open, he looks confused, doesn't know where he is. He's lost his train of thought at least twice in like disastrous shape. Those are going to be played 1 billion times in viral video after viral video. This is an epic disaster. I see people online saying, well, okay, that answer wasn't so bad. No, it doesn't. Any particular answer doesn't matter at all. This thing is over. He looks like he's barely surviving. I don't mean the debate, I mean life.
Annie.
You go first.
Did you hear about Joe Biden?
Not today. I was attending a memorial service for a family member, and it was out in the beautiful country north of Edwardsville, and it was almost a blessing that there was no, connection. I couldn't get good cell service or anything, and people would ask me like, anything going on today? I'm like, I got no idea.
There was a meeting this morning of congressional Democrats.
Yeah.
In which nothing was decided because
Wait, hold on a second. Let me picture that. Okay, I got it.
They came out of the meeting. My assumption is they were having the meeting because they're not super confident in the president of the United States being their candidate. But there was zero consensus coming out of it. We played some clips earlier.
Nobody's brave enough.
Nobody's brave enough.
They don't have a leader.
And the leadership that they do have is mostly sticking with him because he's sticking with him. It's weird to watch this play out in real time. And I said earlier that it's almost like a lot of the times you go, man, there are conspiracies out there. And so many of these conspiracies ended up being true or partially true in the last 5 years or so. And then there's times like this where you go, if there really were puppet masters kind of controlling everything, this would not look like this. This is complete chaos.
Well, the difference is the media. They never would have gotten away with what they've gotten away with this far. Joe Biden wouldn't even be the president if the media didn't declare him ahead of time to be the guy that they needed. And they needed him because they can't stand Trump, because they can't control Trump. And they also can't control the American people if Trump's the president. Every single thing is the same right now, but the media can no longer provide cover for it. And they literally don't know what to do. They do not know how to function as Democrats without the full, complete, and total cover from a deceitful media.
Speaking of the media, yesterday, we were just talking about in the break that we played the full press conference from Karine Jean-Pierre from the White House yesterday. And it was amazing because it was basically one question that was asked of her over and over and over for 45 minutes. And she did not ever answer that question.
I put this on Twitter yesterday, but I was thinking about it afterwards. It felt a lot like, I don't know. I'm sure it's never us that are wrong in our arguments with our spouses. So let's just put this all on our significant others. But if you're ever in an argument with somebody and they're trying to make a point and they're asking you over and over and over again, and then you kind of go, crap, I think they kind of got me here. You're like, why do you disrespect me?
That's what happened.
That's exactly what happened.
Be respectful.
If you're the one who's shifting off of facts and being able to answer fact-based questions with fact-based answers to, you've disrespected me and my feelings are hurt, you're losing.
Yeah. And that one question over and over was, has the president been seen by a neurologist or somebody who deals with Parkinson's? Because we can see it on the White House log. Is he there to see the president?
There are thousands of people.
Yes.
I was just at the White House this weekend. By it. There are not thousands of people in the White House at any given time that are from the military to do, like, the dodge of that. It was almost like she word saladed her way into listing all of the things that Americans would buy as being top secret and was like, I got to put this in a sentence.
Yes, yeah, because it wasn't real cohesive. It was like,
and she got super indignant about it, like righteously indignant. She's like, I don't care what you do to me, I'm not going to do that. And it's like, I don't buy it.
Yeah.
I'm not buying what you're selling here.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, why can't you share that? Because that's public information. Well, the military. And classified.
HIPAA? HIPAA?
Yeah.
What did you say?
And the press is going, what are you talking about? That doesn't even make any sense. And then Annie, at about the 30-minute mark, is exactly what you're talking about. She just finally says, you know what? It's not me that's on trial here. It's the whole system.
Yeah.
You don't even appreciate what I'm doing. I got the clip.
I just want to take a step back for a second, because I do take offense
to
what Ed alluded to. You know, come out here every day. There's a press briefing, and we do our best to give you the information
every day
at the time,
and do this for you.
That's what we do.
That's what I do every day.
We understand that the freedom of the press. We respect the freedom of the press. You heard me talk about this
I understand exactly what's going on here.
I appreciate the back and forth that we all have.
I appreciate you.
I try to respect you, and I hope you try to respect me. And we literally do everything that we can. My team does.
The whole press is sleeping on couches in the front lawn of the White House.
The answers to you. That's what we do. And sometimes we disagree. Sometimes we are not in agreement. But
it's
you know
not about
what?
that.
That's
it's about truth.
That is what is important, to have that healthy back and forth.
Sometimes we disagree.
And so to say that I'm holding information or allude to anything else.
Do you think I'm not being honest with you?
It's really, really unfair.
Do you
I
think
think
I'm
people who are watching
not
and
being
have been
fair with
watching this
you?
briefing for this past week could say that we are doing our best in this briefing to
I'm
provide
doing
the
everything I
information
can
that we have
to make
and
this
I
work.
will admit, I will be the first one to admit, sometimes I get it wrong. At least I admit that.
But you're not perfect either.
At least I admit that. And sometimes I don't have the information. And I will always, always admit that. But I do take offense to what was just happening at the beginning of this briefing.
I wish somebody would have gotten up and gone and patted her on the top of her head.
To suggest that I would
The
hide
idea.
something from you.
The idea.
And to quote the president, and then she flips 7 pages in her binder. The idea that you would think I'm up here not being honest with you.
But what's amazing is that was at about the 30-minute mark. Then they go right back into, that's great.
Yeah, they're
Corinne.
like, anyway.
However, remember when we were asking that question about publicly available information that you said was classified just now? We're just going to ask that question again. And they did it for another 15 minutes and she still didn't answer.
She looked terrible.
Yeah.
She embarrassed herself.
Do we want to dip in and see? It's happening again right now. Do you want to dip in just for a minute and see if anything interesting is happening, Brad?
Turning the page and look ahead. I mean, what's his reaction been to what he's seen since Congress has gotten back?
I mean, it's very similar to how I answered the question to one of your colleagues. He's very much focused on what's ahead, right? He's very much focused. He has a fulsome, robust schedule in the next 2 weeks that we laid out for all of you. He wants to focus on that, the messages that he wants to come out when he goes to Texas next week, when he goes to Vegas next week. He's going to be on the road on Friday as well. And I also want to say, look, he is proud of the Congressional Black Caucus, who said they have, he has their support. The Congressional Hispanic Caucus did the same, and other members of Congress, obviously. And so, look, he wants to move forward. As your colleague said, definitely unite the party, continuing to unite the party. We heard from Representative Meeks, who said that Democrats, the congressional Democrats, came out of the meeting today united. I think that's important to note. But the president's going to move forward. He's going to move forward, and he's going to continue to go out there, engage with the American public, like you saw him do in Pennsylvania. And he's going to stay focused on that.
What do you feel? Does he feel like he's weathered this storm, so to speak?
Look, I think that he is more determined than ever to continue to get the job done, to continue to build an economy that works for all, to continue to make sure that we have a middle class, right, that is strong, right, that we don't have a trickle-down economy, that economy that's built from the bottom up, middle out. That's what he wants to continue to do. I think this week with the NATO summit, the 75th year of NATO, let's not forget, NATO has helped to protect Americans and also protect the world and what it's been able to do for the past 75 years. You're going to see the president engaging with 32 leaders of this alliance. I think that's really important. That's, again, on behalf of the American people. So he wants to do that. He has a lot on his mind.
He has a lot going on. Look, he'll do great at NATO unless a helicopter flies by or like a parachuter stops by or an ice cream truck or something. He'll do fine. This is amazing. I mean, you
can have all of our like average allies out there with like random decoys for President Trump.
Squeaky toys.
They're taking bets.
Right here.
Somebody's got their keys out.
It's not a cat.
Oh. He's batting at it.
Is it how terrible is it that this is this funny?
It's terrifying.
So we had a few days off. This is amazing. I mean, this is
historical.
A historic thing that's happening right in front of our eyes. You taking back over?
Nope.
Really?
It's weird. I'm rearranging everything over here.
It's weird for me too, just so you know. We're gonna keep it weird.
I wonder if it's weird for them.
in the 2 o'clock
hour.
I
wonder if this particular conversation is weird for Brad.
If you're just tuning in, you're like, what are they talking
I'm
about?
fine by now.
Well, just stick around.
Stewart's American Mortgage is a go-to staple for people in Missouri and Illinois alike who are looking to secure a mortgage and make a really, really smart financial decision. 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. Reach out to Stewie right now and ask him about how a bagel loan can help you, regardless of whether you're purchasing a home or whether you want to refinance a home that you've acquired. or if you're looking to do a cash out refinance on your house, talk to Stewie and listen to how he can help you make a really, really smart decision for your situation. When you reach 314-324-4440, that goes directly to Stewie. That's Stewie's direct line. That's his cell phone. When I talk to Stewie about whatever's going on in the economic world, I call him on that number and we just chat. So you can reach him at the same number that I do, 314-324-4440. Use the Bagel Loan where you pay no closing costs. It's the best deal in the business, and the Bagel Loan is only at Stewart's American Mortgage. Save with the Bagel Loan, 314-324-4440. Google the Bagel Loan, NMLS number 226715.
If you have a problem with the IRS, believe me, it's not going away on its own. The IRS never gives up. They have endless resources, so they control the game. Well, your tax problems can end. I'm attorney Lance Drury with the Drury Law Firm, a local tax resolution firm with an A-plus rating from the Better Business Bureau. I've handled thousands of IRS cases over the last 15 years. So when you hire me, you won't be speaking long distance or sending money to some TV pitchman that's riddled with consumer complaints. Your first visit is completely free and confidential, and I'll tell you on the spot exactly how much it will cost. So call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120. Or go to Lance, D-R-U-R-Y, law.com. If you have IRS issues, you need a local attorney. You need me, Lance Drury.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Marc Cox here. Did you know the Rockwood School District is a great place to work? They're currently hiring school bus drivers, cafeteria workers, and custodial staff, as well as summer positions for mowers and landscapers. They have openings in Adventure Club, which is before and after school care. They offer competitive pay, flexible work hours, and a rewarding work environment. Discover the Rockwood Advantage and join an amazing team. Go to rsdmo.org/jobs. That's rsdmo.org/jobs.
You've listened to 97.1 FM Talk. You've heard of Doug Voss of Voss Financial and Safe Money Radio, as he has been a staple as the financial expert on the station for many years. You can hear him on Safe Money Radio several times a weekend right here on 97.1 FM Talk. And you can talk to Doug Voss directly. Here's his number. Call Doug at 844-676-SAFE. That is 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through D.H. Hill Securities, LLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
A show of support for the president. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News, on a day of meetings behind closed doors for Democrats.
The choice before the American people this November is moving forward with a stronger economy, lowering costs, and safer streets, or the chaos and extremism of Donald Trump.
California Congressman Pete Aguilar chairs the House Democratic Caucus and says today's meeting was about listening.
Unity is something that is so helpful to us. Unanimity is not the same as unity.
He says they are unified about beating former President Trump. Still, several House Democrats have called on President Biden to step aside, while some urge more unscripted appearances to offer reassurance about his fitness. White House spokeswoman Karine Jean-Pierre just telling reporters,
we want to get to the other side of this. We want to continue doing the work, and that's what the president's going to do.
But she says they respect people's opinions. Later today, President Biden will mark the 75th anniversary of NATO as Washington hosts a NATO summit. Former President Trump will hold a rally in Florida.
The first rally he's having in 11 days. He's laying low, and that appears to be by design. A campaign source telling Fox when Democrats are in disarray, why get in their way of them shooting at each other? That's a quote. The campaign says tonight we can expect the former president to really lay into this idea of a cover-up, attacking the president, the White House, the Democratic Party, and the media for what they believe is a cover-up of President Biden's cognitive decline.
Fox's Brian Yennis in Doral. Palestinian health officials just reporting at least 19 people killed in an apparent Israeli airstrike in southern Gaza. This after earlier reports of civilian casualties in a Gaza City strike, as the Israeli military targets areas where it says Hamas has regrouped after previous offensives. America is listening to Fox News.
When you get nachos, tacos, empanadas, spicy queso with jalapenos, Pepto-Bismol's there.
Pepto-Bismol provides fast, effective relief from nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, and diarrhea. All the things that can happen unexpectedly on vacation. So before you travel, pack the Pepto. Pepto-Bismol.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Unsettled times continue as we go through our Tuesday afternoon with periods of rain and increasing winds, 79 for the high. Again, this is the moisture coming up from the old hurricane in the western Gulf. The focus, St. Louis south and southeast. Tonight, periods of rain and thunderstorms, windy, heavy rain at times, 65. Wednesday, partly to mostly sunny, maybe a spot storm at 84. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Air Comfort Service is out there waiting for your phone call at 314-513-0091 to make sure that your HVAC system is in good working order. If you've noticed that your AC is not blowing cold, maybe it's blowing a lot, maybe it's running all day, and the house just isn't getting cool, if it's something that you're noticing new right now, consider reaching out to Air Comfort Service and having some maintenance or a tune-up or a maintenance check done on your HVAC system. And you can sign up and do that monthly, so you don't even have to really worry about it from month to month. As the seasons change, as you're using the HVAC system in different ways, you got Air Comfort Service on your side, and it's a great idea to really take it off your mind and make sure that you're still committing to great care of your HVAC system. Reach out to them at 314-513-0091, 314-513-0091, and get it set up for your home today. You can trust Air Comfort Service in your house. I've trusted them as a customer in my house. You can find them online at aircomfortservice.com.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group. Are you worried about market volatility in this election year? Are you concerned your money won't last you through retirement?
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw, and as a family-owned business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. We have a lot of folks that aren't aware of all the new investment choices that are available, which give you growth and protection from losses at the same time. Are you aware of all the fees that you are currently paying? We can show you how to avoid those fees. So come in now for your free retirement review and get a second opinion on your retirement plan. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. Let us show you how to retire with confidence.
We are proud to say we haven't lost a penny of our clients' money in 38 years, and we won't lose a penny of yours either. Let our family help your family. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
But in many ways, worse than the terrible Democrats are the backstabbing rhino Republicans.
Bob Under attacked President Trump. As an anti-Trump delegate, Under conspired with never-Trumpers. No wonder Bob Under's been called Trump's worst nightmare, and why we can send him to Washington. Conservatives for American Excellence Inc. paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Conservatives4AmericanExcellence.com.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
Who are you voting for in the Missouri governor's primary? Join me, Annie Fry, for the Republican Governors Forum this Thursday. Register for this free event presented by the Republican Central Committee of St. Louis County at 971talk.com/events.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake,
This is the Annie Fry Show.
All right, you ready to get weird? This is the Annie Fry Show, and I'm hosting, but Annie's here.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's real weird. We don't know what we're doing. We're actually sitting in each other's seats. We did not
at the same
switch
time.
clothes like we have before.
I'm wearing a dress.
And I'm not going to do that.
And pearls.
You look wonderful, but I am not going to wear your clothes.
What about Brad? How's he look?
Average. Brad looks the same as always, right?
Amazing.
Steady as she goes.
Steady, exactly. He's got the helm, and he's doing fine. So this is the Annie Fry Show. Annie is letting me take over for I don't know why, because it's really uncomfortable.
This is really hard to do. I'm just sitting here waiting to react or derail. Go on.
That is what I do.
That's the chair is kind of making it.
So I want to ask you a couple questions.
I'll think about it.
First, how was your weekend trip? You didn't really mention it yesterday much.
We didn't talk about anything yesterday.
No, it was a busy day.
It was all news driven.
Yeah.
There were a lot of things that I wanted to discuss today, like the freaking poll results.
Oh yeah, yesterday. That's right at the very end of the show.
Ryan, always the wingman. We close up the show, and he goes, "Not going to do poll results?" I'm like, "Well, not now. Why didn't you say
something?" I like
something?
how you messed up, but it's my fault.
No, it's not. It was my mess up.
Okay.
It was my fault. But you suggested after the show is over that maybe we should do the poll results.
Well, I don't know if you've listened to the show
It was
before,
not particularly helpful.
but there are times with like 10 seconds left, you'll go, "Oh, the poll results," and you'll give them real quick. So I thought, oh, she's going to do that. But then with 5 seconds left, I'm like, okay, well, if I say something now, I would literally just be saying, "Give the poll results," and then the show would end. So do you want to give them now?
I don't
know them.
Did you talk about it yet?
We have not talked about it yet.
I sent you the screenshot so you could talk about it. And I think Mike Elam talked about it. He filled in yesterday for Reardon, and Reardon is back today, is my understanding.
He did. And just real quick, I was talking to Mike yesterday before we left. He said that they talked about the Corinne Jean-Pierre press conference pretty much for the whole 4 o'clock hour or maybe 3 o'clock hour.
It was something.
It was really something. They had a guest who was in the room who even said, "Wow, that was different."
Oh, yeah?
So it wasn't just like an average press conference.
A poop show.
It was a poop show.
Yeah, just like this show. No, well, this is a toot show.
No, it's none of those things.
Molly's listening right now to the radio like, they said toot.
Oh, yeah. I mean, toots are funny when you're 3 and when you're 300.
So the poll results from yesterday?
And a man.
And a man, yeah.
So yesterday's question, do you want to say?
We said that that's like the deciding factor on we can
Whether you're a guy.
reestablish the gender binary by how somebody reacts to a fart.
Walk up to somebody at a parade, at a cafe, whatever, and say, "Our fart's funny." Or just fart.
No, you just go into like a diner of 40 people. You fart. When people laugh out loud and can't contain it or they're trying so hard, those are probably the dudes.
Those are the guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, "Hey, I see how you're dressed, but
and
you're a
the
guy."
women who are at least pretending to, first and foremost, not hear it, act like it didn't happen. It doesn't matter how loud or the distance or proximity.
The distance.
You just act like this is the best bread and butter I've ever had in that diner. And if you do acknowledge it, you chastise the people around you who are laughing. That's what you do.
And if a guy hears, even in the distance, he's like, "Huh? Oh, what was that?" Like it could be in a different classroom when you're in high school. If you heard it like through one of those kind of like fake walls that they have in the classrooms, you'd be like, "Wait a minute."
Let me ask the age-old St. Louis question. Where did you go to high school?
Where do you think I went to high school?
Collinsville.
And they had those big, long rooms that you could put the dividers up in some of them. And so you could still hear
paper-thin walls.
Yeah, you wouldn't hear what they were teaching, but you could hear when the person was lecturing. And every now and then you'd hear a...
Stop it! Gosh.
You go, "Hey, teacher, we need to acknowledge that. I know it wasn't in the room."
Host the show one time. Let him host the show, they said.
You ready for the poll results?
Yeah.
From yesterday.
From yesterday.
From yesterday, not today.
Because Ryan screwed up.
Yeah, because I really dropped the ball on that job I don't
signaler. What was the poll signal again, Ryan?
No, that's the Trisha. Oh, put it away.
Theater of the mind. If you're not watching, you just have to picture it.
Or not.
Question. Go.
Okay, so
I'm not in charge. Do
the
what
poll
you said.
question from yesterday was, how will history mark President Donald Trump? He'll be 45 and 47, 45, or 45 and 48.
And you have to explain that because I personally did not understand
This poll
that.
question was over people's head.
Yes. Mine, one of them.
Which I think means I
Which
might
is
have
tough because I'm tall.
My reflexes
you
are
look
too
taller
fast.
from over here.
Well, it's because I'm in the big chair.
You're standing. You're not even in the chair.
It's because I'm in the big spot.
The 45 is obviously if he doesn't win re-election and doesn't become the president again. 45 and 47, if you look at all of the MAGA hats that are out there right now, they say 45, 47 on the side of them. They printed up a ton of these hats. But if they get rid of Joe Biden at the end of this week, Kamala Harris becomes the president of the United States, then she's 47, and then Donald Trump wins in November, he would be 48.
You know what, though? Here's the answer to the poll question. You just stitch in the 8 into the 7. You just have a flat top 8.
Ryan knows how to turn 70% into 80%. C's into B's.
So what was the results of the poll?
The results of the poll were 83% of you said that 45 and 47, 9% of you said 45, and then 7% of you said 45 and 48. Now, I remember looking at the chat. And
There are a
people,
lot of comments.
Yeah, people are like, oh, no, I want to change 48 and 45.
Yeah.
And that's what I ended up being. I was a 48 and 45 because I don't think Joe Biden will be the nominee, and I don't think he's going to be the president for his full term.
The only way that Trump is 48 is if Biden doesn't finish his presidency.
Right.
What are you?
I'm a 45, 47. I do think Biden's going to finish this presidency.
You are stubborn.
Hey, until I see otherwise. You know what, though?
That's exactly right. We'll talk about it again if he resigns as to whether you think he's going to be the nominee.
Well, maybe. I mean, it might be newsworthy.
That is the most Ryan thing ever. I don't know. They might still go with him. Just because he's not the president now doesn't mean he might not be the nominee.
Look, I still believe that he is going to not give up his position.
You sound
He's not.
Like Joe.
Yes, exactly.
You sound like the man.
He is out there saying this
dementia.
to everybody who will listen poorly, that he is fine and that he is staying as president and he's going to stay as a candidate. And I just don't see how they remove him. I don't see how
They're just going to put him in a farm up in northern Delaware, and he's going to be saying, I'm the president of the United States in an empty field to nobody. And he won't know the difference. He just won't be the president.
Tell him he's conquering new land for America. Manifest destiny, bro. Go on.
You're going to Delaware?
That's a decent joke. This is probably the best opportunity possible to talk about.
He's talking in that voice.
Segue into today's poll. Have you thought about today's poll at all?
I don't know what it is. You'd have to tell me, sir.
What impact will Trump's vice presidential pick have on the 2024 election? So not necessarily, because we always talk about it.
I like the specificity of the answers, the possible answers. This is not something
they are
that Annie put together.
A lot, a little, or none. So it's not necessarily about, picking for 2028, which I actually don't think is as important as many others do. But what will the VP pick have? What impact on this election?
I think a lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
Why?
Because I think that we are going to have to go into the margins to ensure that this election is too big to rig. And the margins, it's not about flipping New York red, which is in the conversation now more than it's ever been.
Amazingly, yes.
It's not about flipping California red. It's not about flipping Illinois red. However, the VP pick has the ability to expand the idea that America first is not just MAGA, because that is something that has brilliantly been branded Trump, that America first is bigger than Trump, and that America first will live on past Donald Trump. And that honestly, and this is going to be hard for a lot of hardliners, especially people who listen to our station, who are steeped in politics. This is going to be hard for these people to grab a hold onto, and I respect it because they're engaged and they are plugged in and they get things. You're good. We got you. You're voting for Trump. You are not the majority of people. What is it? What is Joe Biden's approval ratings like 33, 34%?
Yeah, something like that.
There are 33% of Americans right now who are like, yeah, he's fine. He's not Trump. That's it. That's all I need. They literally will tell you that. Joy Reid was out there saying that she'd vote for his comatose corpse before she would do something to let Orange Hitler in the White House. I mean, there's nothing I can say to over-sensationalize the position of the Joy Reids more than they've already said in their own words with their face on camera. So the idea that I would be sensationalizing, I hate to say it, but the stupidity of these people. I mean, it's really the blatant ignorance and stupidity of people like that. I just don't really need to go too far into that because they've done it themselves. They can't stop themselves. So you have to ask yourself, like, the MAGA people, MAGA got a little bit bigger. From the very beginning, MAGA's gotten a little bit bigger. So the people who want to establish themselves as like OG MAGA need a name because they need the MAGA people to know that they're ultra MAGA. Okay. All right. I mean, okay. Thumbs up. Good job. I don't really know at the end of that conversation like what we've accomplished, but if it makes you feel good, ultra MAGA. To anybody who's not MAGA anything, everybody's ultra MAGA. If you're MAGA, you're ultra MAGA. You are Hitler or a supporter of Hitler. I mean, that's really what it boils down to. Set aside everything that you're thinking right now about Republicans, about vice presidents, about all of that. If you set all of that stuff aside and you stop thinking about the right side of the aisle, shift and look at the left side of the aisle. What does this party stand for? What does the Biden administration push for? What do the far left progressives and the Democrat Party want? They want to control every facet of your life that they can get their hands on. And they do that by telling you that you are a victim that needs to be cared for. And that the only way that you can be provided the security that you deserve and need is to elect them. And then they'll take care of everything for you. All the way down to the stove that you use, the water that comes out of your faucet in your shower, to the car you drive, to the furnace you use, everything. They got you covered. But in the midst of all of that, you find that you're sacrificing all of your liberty in order to have the provided security that they're going to offer you, that at the end, you're just going to have to agree with them, well, it's good enough. It's not the best there is, it's good enough. And usually it's not. The left is not interested in letting you pick your own path. It's actually the worst thing that can happen for Democrats is if Americans feel emboldened and empowered to choose your own adventure, to take opportunity by the horns and potentially fail big, but succeed even bigger. That is not what the left invests in. So that's the direction the left is going. And the way they achieve it is by big government. And they pay for big government by taking money out of your paycheck. And that circle just rolls and rolls and rolls and rolls. So go back to the right side of the aisle. This election is not about education policy. This election is not about healthcare policy. This election is not even about tax policy. It's not about policy at all. It's about the actual idea and belief in the constitutional order of things in the United States of America, in America first. And what sets us apart from everybody else, it's the idea that the people reign supreme and that the people oversee the government, not the government oversees people. And it's my opinion, having read her book, having interviewed her on this show, that Tulsi Gabbard, while very recently a Democrat, she's written a book, For Love of Country, I think is the name, For Love of Country. And it's about Leave the Democrat Party, is I think maybe the subtitle. Her whole mentality has been shifted in a way that understands that the big government way of doing business is completely broken because the system perpetuates the system. And she tried to get in that system through the Democrat Party, and Hillary Clinton and the Democrats said, sit down. And she's like, I don't think that I'm going to sit down. And they said, no, you will sit down, and we will make you sit down, and we will hide you from the American people. They squashed her on Google so that she was this massively searched term after she was it Kamala Harris that she beat?
Yeah.
Intellectually.
Yeah, on the debate stage.
Intellectually, I have the clip pulled up over here. Maybe we can play it later. She just dominated because she said things that were true, but that she wasn't supposed to say. She went into the swamp as somebody who I think in her heart felt leftist policies were right. It's what she knew. She's from Hawaii. The swamp spit her out, and she has seen things, and she knows things. And she detests those things, and she left the Democrat Party. I do not think that I do not believe that Tulsi Gabbard is the best representation of constitutional conservative policy. But I also don't think that that's who you put on the ticket as a VP. Tulsi Gabbard, who's campaigned for Kari Lake, who's campaigning for Donald Trump, who's been speaking at CPACs, who have been talking about how disastrous Hillary Clinton is, how disastrous the system is, how disastrous the Democrats have been. She is living evidence that Democrats can leave the Democrat plantation and dabble in this idea of America first and succeed, which I think is the most powerful message that can be out there. She's incredibly well-spoken. She is not the caricature of what they try to make the boogeyman Republicans out to be. Donald Trump was registered as a Democrat in 2001. Ronald Reagan said, I didn't leave the Democratic Party left me. J.D. Vance in Ohio talks about in his Hillbilly Elegy, which I haven't read, but I need to. He was a Democrat. He left the party. I said this on Twitter, but Brad, you've probably talked to people like this. Ryan, maybe you too. I was born into the Christian faith. I've been raised in a Christian household. I am incredibly grateful for it. But I have along the way met people who were confronted in a big, bold way in their adult life with the understanding of faith and Christian belief. And the fire that is lit in those people for that understanding, it is, I can't say that mine is bigger than theirs or theirs bigger than mine, but theirs is passionate. There is an understanding and an appreciation that exists when you come into something like that new with the intellect of somebody who can process those thoughts. And Tulsi Gabbard, that's the red pill. In politics, that's the red pill. She's answered the questions. Everybody has a question about her Second Amendment stance. Go listen to her interviews on it, specifically the one with Don Jr. She's good. She's fine. She's answered for a lot of things she's done as a Democrat. She's talked about her mental shifts, but she has at her heart a true understanding of America first and the appreciation of the greatness that is this country. The Democrats hate this country for what it was. They don't like it. They want to change it. They want to, in their words, fundamentally transform it. And they've done a pretty good job of it since Barack Obama was inaugurated. Regarding the poll question, if he picks the right person, I do think we're talking 40 states. I do think we're talking a landslide. I don't think, I don't want to eat these words. I don't think that there's somebody out there that could tank the ticket. But I think there's a huge upside. And I don't think that the people, reports say, sources say, here's the short list. He has never confirmed that the short list is the only list. And I think he wants to come out, and I think he wants to I think it's the biggest thing he's going to do in the rest of this campaign and to broaden the tent. So I think I would say a lot.
Brad, you said you disagree with Annie. Explain.
I never said that.
That's something I would do.
But
well done.
I'm still a little skeptical, but she's following up on what she said. So she wasn't just talking the talk, she's walking the walk. And she can win me over. And to Annie's point, you're not trying to win Ultra MAGA. You're not trying to win your base. You're trying to win those people that watched that debate and went, oh no.
Yeah.
And then watch Trump be reasonable on the debate stage. And when he was reasonable on the debate stage, and then look at somebody as your vice president that can be, I can vote for that person.
Yeah.
I can take that person. And I think Tulsi Gabbard says this. Now, this is going to sound really shallow, but the other thing that she has is she is beautiful.
Yeah.
That
definitely.
is a plus. That's a plus. It's not her only thing.
What do you have against Marco Rubio?
She has I don't know. He's a handsome dude.
Doug Burgum.
Doug Burgum's got it going on, man.
Yeah. That's what I would have said about Doug Burgum, too. This is a beautiful man.
But she's got the idea. She's got the thoughts. She's got a method of delivery. Like, I am thinking back to the interview you did with her, and she's so soft-spoken and so warm and so well thought out in everything that she says.
She's calming.
She will, yes, exactly.
Magaloha.
Magaloha. She will bring people in. And
is that a thing?
He said that before off the air. I'm like, if it's not merch, we're going to have it be merch by the end of the show.
That thing.
Yeah.
Magaloha.
But the thing about it is she has that calming effect on people, and she could calm the nerves of people that are like, I don't know if I can vote for Trump, because they're still stung from the propaganda campaign against Donald Trump this whole 5-6 years or whatever it's been.
Just like Brandon Strzok says, time to walk away.
What impact will Trump's VP pick have on the 2024 election? That is today's Annie Fry Show YouTube live chat
You're
poll.
doing a great job.
Thank you very much.
You want to do this more often?
Yeah, I think so.
You want to prep the whole show and I'll just sit here and...
Oh, no, I love doing that.
Make comments?
I love the part where I don't work.
This part over here?
Yeah.
I'm kind of starting to like it, too.
Yeah, it's great. You just sit there and you go, here's what I think.
I wonder if I still get to keep my name on the show if I just start not doing anything.
No, that's the trade-off.
Oh.
Yeah, although I did just get a text from management. They said, she actually had a great answer to that question.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we give her own show? And I said, why don't you placate her and give her one on the weekends?
I've been there, done that. I'm good.
228. Oh, we should give away tickets. That's coming up next, so stick around if you want to win some tickets to Train and REO Speedwagon. We'll do that in just a minute. This is the Annie Fry Show. Yes, it is on 97.1 FM Talk.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @Annie Fry Show.
At Hampton Manor of Wentzville, they go the extra step to make sure their residents feel special. Marc Cox here for my friends at Hampton Manor. I recently stopped by there. You know, their veterans are celebrated with special recognitions, including special pastries created by their pastry chef. They have their own private chef. They'll even feed you lunch if you stop by for a visit at this great senior living community off the Lake St. Louis exit at Highway 70. Schedule your appointment today at wentzvilleassistedliving.com.
You're not going to want to miss this. Diamonds Direct summer sale starts next weekend. For 3 days only, next Friday through Sunday, get 20% off. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, and more. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off. And designers are flying in from New York and LA to showcase their latest trends. That's 20% off, plus $100 off with an appointment and designer trunk shows. Tons of engagement rings on sale, too. 20% off starts next Friday. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
Summer is here, which means pool days, beach trips, and yeah, you guessed it, traffic jams. Oh yeah, and heat waves. Don't let summer catch you by surprise. Get the local news you need, no matter what you're up to, with the free Odyssey app, and never miss a beat with alerts on breaking stories sent directly to your phone. Listen today on the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY.
Experience the beauty of custom-crafted windows that enhance your home's aesthetics and energy efficiency. Look no further than Infinity from Marvin, proudly brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design. Why choose Infinity? These windows are not just strong, they're 8 times stronger than vinyl, providing unmatched security for your home. Plus, with Lakeside's expert installation, you're guaranteed precision and perfection. Visit our showroom or call Lakeside Renovation and Design today. Elevate your home with Infinity from Marvin, where strength meets style.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. With Ramp, you get full visibility into your company's spending and control who spends what with each vendor. Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts instantly to save your team valuable time. Ramp automates data entry and routine tasks with automated approvals, expense categorization and bill payments, time-consuming tasks. Which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. Get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/free. Ramp.com/free. ramp.com/free.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gsLHonorFlight.org. And for heating services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Want to listen to 97.1 outside the listening area? There's an app for that. Download the Odyssey app, and one tap will turn the station on. The Odyssey app for 97.1 FM Talk. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
Do you want to go see REO Speedwagon and Train July 16th at the Hollywood Casino Amphitheater? If so, well, you can go buy tickets anytime you want. End of PSA.
End of story.
But if you want to go for free, here's the phone number, 314-241-9797, 314-241-9797. You guys knew I was going to do that. You're calling already. That's fine. Caller number 9 will get those free tickets to REO Speedwagon Train July 16th. Good luck. I am Ryan Wiggins, filling in for Annie Fry, who is here. It is very, very strange. We did switch seats, which doesn't really matter to anybody if you're listening, but it is throwing us off quite a bit.
I'm good.
Okay. It is just throwing me off.
Why are you sweating?
This seat's hot. How do you deal with this every day?
What are we talking about?
I'm having hot flashes.
Yeah, it's the menopause.
It must be.
The menopause.
That time of the year. That's how that works, right?
Yeah, every July.
Seems like every July I get hot. I don't know what that is. I'm assuming that it's my my female hormones.
You're at the end of your peak. See, when you're over there and you're in the chair that I would normally in, you get to understand how it's just all slowly slipping away.
Mm-hmm.
Just little by little. And as soon as my childbearing years are over, I will be completely useless and worthless to people like Don Lemon.
So
Quote,
weird.
unquote, past your prime.
Yeah.
It's so weird that sitting in this seat brings all that.
Mm-hmm.
Because now I understand. Because I always take my female questions to people like Marc Cox, who also sits in this seat in the morning.
He didn't have that problem.
No.
He sits in a different chair.
No, he doesn't. No, he sits in this chair.
The chairs get switched around in the studio every day.
Oh, yeah, it's musical chairs. But the
No,
spot
this
is what
talk
matters.
station.
It's the spot that is what matters. And so when I have female questions, I go to Marc Cox. Let's transition from that. As the host of the show, I get to decide when we transition.
Speaking of.
Let me ask you this. How was your weekend?
You did that. That's how you started.
I know,
the
but
first
you
segment.
didn't answer.
You're copping out.
I am.
You're copping out.
I'm asking leading questions.
You were the host of this show today, and you have opened 2 segments that you're supposed to be in charge of directing the conversation with asking me how my weekend was.
If you were a good co-host, you'd be like, I'm just going to follow.
I'm not
your
a
lead.
good co-host.
I'm going to follow your lead, and I'll go wherever you go, Ryan. I'll make you shine.
My weekend was good. How was yours, Ryan?
It was fine, but I want to know how Washington, D.C. and Pittsburgh were specifically. Tell me how the cities are doing.
Better than St. Louis.
I have a story that I want to share with you. Now that we're on the topic.
This is unbelievable.
You just sounded like Jerry Nadler admitting he's going to support Trump. Yeah, I guess.
All right.
Guess so.
It's the only candidate. Sir.
You do have any concerns
about
the next term? Do you have any concerns about being able to serve out the rest of this term?
No.
No.
Was it? What was that?
That was Jerry. Asking Jerry Nadler.
Is this an inside joke that I missed just between you two on this show?
It was at the beginning of the show. We were laughing because Jerry Nadler was asked if he thinks Biden should drop out, and he was like, no.
Then the reporter's like, you sound like you don't have any options. He's like, yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty much sums it up.
But anyway.
You have to reset these things.
No, I don't.
Except for the fact that obviously our entire audience tunes in at noon and sits there and listens.
Yeah, they're glued to it.
Until 2:37.
It's not just that they listen, it's that their eyes are watching the radio. They're that plugged in. If you're in the car right now, you know exactly what I mean. You're going, well, you just talked about...
Also, head up. That car in front of you is stopping.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or if your wife's not in the car, I'll do it for you.
Inside joke. You want to set that up? That's an inside joke.
It is?
Yeah.
I'm not on the inside.
The gasping?
What about it?
Does everybody do that? Does everybody do that?
Most wives
No,
do,
just
yeah.
women.
Okay.
And some men.
That's good to know. Because my wife does do that.
Yes, of course. Every man driving right now is like, see? And every woman's like, don't look at me, look at the road!
They can't. They're watching the radio.
Annie's on the radio, honey. I don't want to miss a thing.
Are you looking at her?
She's America's sweetheart.
No, she's not.
Oh, that's right. She's not.
You are.
Okay. This segment's almost over, so I want to get to this.
It's really all that this is about.
This has been a great...
Right now, we're trying to run out the clock.
Annie,
this is what you call four corners.
Since you brought up your weekend,
running.
Since you brought up your weekend and the fact that you're in Pittsburgh,
I did not.
Did you? Is this what you were doing there? I just want to read this story.
I was not. I was unintentionally involved. I'll put it that way.
Thousands of people waited for hours in the heat and humidity in Pittsburgh to get into Pittsburgh's furry convention on Thursday.
Yeah. What about it?
Jarrett Doyle said he waited 5.5 hours to get in. And
Why?
after that, it was another 3 hours waiting in the turnstiles and everything like that. I didn't even make it through. I gave up and I walked out, said Jerry Doyle.
You know, you could have your furry convention at any time. Anywhere. Why in July in Pittsburgh?
July 4th in Pittsburgh. That's why I thought maybe you were taking a trip. I didn't know.
You guys have something to say. No!
You know why this story cracked me up? Is not just that it happened to be there when you were there, but they kept saying, why did we have a furry convention in July?
Exactly.
They're all in these heavy costumes.
I'm sorry, but it has to be said. Why didn't you think of that? I'm not surprised. You saw my video.
Yes. Oh, my gosh. I didn't even think about that. And were they going from here to there?
Yes, that was on a flight to Pittsburgh.
Oh, my gosh. I just connected the dots.
Brian,
you
this
had
is unbelievable. This is unreal.
Did you post this online?
I quit my show.
Yes. Did
Are
you
you
post
serious?
this, though? Did you post this, though, or did you just send it to us?
I tweeted it.
You tweeted it. Okay. I just making sure.
I tweeted it after we landed and moved away from likely the people who were on the plane because I didn't want to personally upset anyone. I honestly didn't know how to handle the situation.
There was a person sitting in Lambert, full-on furry costume.
Yes.
And he was on your flight.
Yes.
That's
wearing
incredible.
the costume.
He boarded the plane in a full costume with a mask on and everything. And, whatever. You want to be a furry? Okay.
Without all the weird stuff, it looks fun. Here's a quote from one of them named
It
William.
was you, wasn't it?
William Blahat.
You were following me.
I'm the Masked Singer. It says, considering it was 90 degrees on top of all this, it kind of stunk. It's the convention's 19th year, and this is the first time they've seen it sell out like this. So this is a trend, guys. It's getting big.
I just retweeted the Andrew McCutcheon tweet. Andrew McCutcheon is a darling of the Pittsburgh Pirates, played for the Pittsburgh Pirates,
yeah, he's
left,
fantastic.
and then came back. He's older now.
Well, okay.
But he tweeted out on July 3rd, FURRIES, like vertically in all caps. It was just like one letter stacked on top. It just said furries. I was like, that's what I was thinking.
Did you encounter any others other than the guy on the flight?
There were lots of people on the flight who were obviously going to that convention.
Really? Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, it says that more than 15,000 furries showed up.
I did not know because I'm ignorant, okay? I understand it. I did not know that this was such a big deal, that it was socially, publicly, I'm trying to be so nice, agreeable that you would have a convention for it. That was like 4 days.
I don't think they knew that.
No, they knew it.
They said this has been going on for 19 years. So back in whatever it was, 2005, when they started this thing.
Can you imagine being like the 4 furries
There
at
was
the
like,
convention?
yeah,
You're like,
have a convention.
You guys, one day, this is going to be huge.
Yeah.
Let's keep it in July.
It's like a mega church that we were like, hey, remember back when we were meeting in Tom's, well, maybe a church comparison isn't the exact same thing.
It might be a religious experience. Jared and I were sitting at one of the bars in the airport because we got there a little bit early and we had time to sit down and eat. And I don't know, he was probably watching something on the TVs or whatever. And I looked up and there's this huge, like, construction orange furry walking through the airport. And I'm thinking, there are people taking their pants off over at TSA to make sure that everything is safe and secure.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously he was on the other side of security, but it just seems like we should agree that our faces should be visible here.
Also, it seems to me, now this is personal preference, but I wouldn't want to wear the thing on the plane.
He's walking past the bar, restaurant where we're at, and I go, oh my gosh, Jared, look! And he looks up, and the furry had just gone out of view. I'm like, it was a furry. I think that's a real furry. I'd never seen one before. I didn't know. Like, I don't even know, like, if you say, like, there's a furry, and it's somebody who's dressed in full, like, 100% costume. It's like Fredbird walking around the airport.
Exactly.
But that would be understandable to me. And he missed it. I'm like, oh, my gosh, I've never seen one. And I didn't even know, like, if you say there's a furry, I didn't know if that was a pejorative. Is that what they want to be called?
I don't know.
I don't know. I know nothing. I'm ignorant to it. And he missed it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I wish he would have seen it. Then eventually we make it over to our gate and this individual is sitting at the gate next to us. And I'm like, oh my gosh, there he is. And he was sitting there with his head next to him, but full everything else costume. And I'm like, if he's riding on our plane, whatever. I don't even know what that means. But we start to board the plane. We boarded in the top 10 people who went on the plane once they started boarding, sat down, and then, you're just sitting there, and Jared and I are sitting next to each other on the plane, and we got one seat next to us. It's open. And we're in the second row.
Uh-huh.
And I go, because I was sitting in the window, and Jared's sitting next to me, I go, are you going to sit next to him? And he's like, he just doesn't know. And we're doing the thing that you do on Southwest, which is he sits on the outside, I sit on, and there's a middle seat open.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, fine. If he does, it's a 2-hour flight, whatever. Moving on. And then, so you're just watching people one by one as they come around the corner and make themselves be known. He comes around the corner, and he is in full costume. He's like an orange fox.
The head's on?
Yes! The head's on. And you could kind of hear this collective on the airplane.
Did he speak? What did the fox say?
Ding-a-ding-ding-ding. They didn't say that. That's what I said. I was like, ding-a-ding-ding-ding-ding-ding. And so he walked back, and he just sat down, and he still had the head on for a while. But I mean, it was huge. So it's like you feel.
So like if you turn around, you'd be like, oh, look, there he is. I can see.
And then eventually, I don't know if they asked him to take it off, or if he just decided to take it off. But I was like, I just don't feel like you should be able to board a plane in full costume. Put the whole thing on, and when you get off, whatever, I don't care. But
it seems a bit much for a flight.
It did.
Especially if you're sitting next to the person in general boarding.
And so I was paying attention to people as they were walking on the plane, and I was like, I think there's more to this. So I Google Pittsburgh furries, and I'm like, sure as sugar.
15,000 furries.
Yeah. And then I get on Twitter, and there's AJ McCutcheon. Furries.
And I wonder if you're one of the other furries on the plane, you're like, oh, great. No, this guy's
guy's showing me up.
Yeah, right. Come on, buddy.
I've got my awesome costume. It's in my bag.
And
You'll have to see it.
The other question is, if a furry shows up, and you're like, oh, but this is how I identify, shows up at a professional baseball game.
They were there.
Really?
Yes.
So that was my next question. Did you see any at the games?
Yes.
You did?
Yeah.
Did they dance on the dugout?
The parrot.
Because the line between furry and mascot, it's a little blurry to me.
It was not blurry to me.
Hey, this is the Annie Fry Show. Things are going well. We'll be right back.
Replacement windows are just a click or a phone call away with Window World. The windows that are very, very proud to say they're simply the best for less. Call Window World at 314-993-1800. 314-993-1800. And be certain to tell them that Annie sent you. When you are seeking out replacement windows for the project at your home, those builder's grade windows have deteriorated. They are not sealed anymore. You need to have the very best, but you don't want to overpay. That's where Window World comes in. They use a double strength glass on their replacement windows. They provide you a lifetime warranty that covers parts and glass breakage, but it also covers labor, which is fantastic for a replacement window. And in just over 20 years of business, they have improved the windows in homes just like yours for over 72,000 customers in St. Louis. Why not be the next? Reach out to them at 314-993-1800. That's 314-993-1800 and tell them Annie sent you. You can find them online at windowworld.com.
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process, ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
Celebrate National Carpet Cleaning Month with Zero Res and get 3 rooms of carpet clean for $129 and the 4th room free. And take $75 off your air duct cleaning. Call now, 314-474-2020 or book online at ZeroResSTL.com. Hey, it's Marc Reardon from my friends at ThrottleNet, and you've probably heard George Rosenthal from ThrottleNet on the show. He's a technology whiz, and George and his team can educate you and your business on the dangers lurking with technology. Here's a unique opportunity along those lines. Does your company have a lunch and learn or guest speakers? For a limited time, ThrottleNet is providing free lunch and learns to provide cybersecurity awareness training. One click can cause a ton of damage to your business. ThrottleNet is determined to make sure that doesn't happen. And if it does, they're the cybersecurity experts who can help. ThrottleNet is known for high customer satisfaction, averaging 99% happiness with over 35,000 surveys. They have an industry-leading response time of less than 2 minutes. And no clients of ThrottleNet have ever paid ransom as a result of a cyber attack. Contact ThrottleNet at throttlenet.com/971 and we can schedule your free company lunch. Don't miss out. Find out more today about ThrottleNet at throttlenet.com/971.
What better way to support your nutrition than with the multivitamin that was created right here in St. Louis? Neovitin Original Multivitamin was created by St. Louis physician Dr. Ribicki to support his own nutrition when he needed it most. Now, Neovitin Original Multivitamin is formulated with sensible doses of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and Dr. Ribicki's proprietary blend to give you nutritional support you won't find anywhere else. Neovitin is now conveniently available through our no-obligation monthly subscription. Cancel or pause at any time, and shipping is free. Support your nutrition with a subscription to Neovitin at neovitin.com today.
Today's YouTube live chat poll is, man, they're having a spirited debate about who this VP would be and how it might how it might play out. They being Annie and Ryan. YouTube live chat poll: what impact will Trump's VP pick have on the 2024 election? Will it be a lot, a little, or none? We want to know what you think. Jump on Annie's YouTube page, vote in the poll, and let us know in the comments. The time is 2:51. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon getting set to go here on a Tuesday after a few days off. You have former Missouri State Senator Bob Andre getting a big thumbs up and an endorsement from President Trump for the 3rd District congressional seat. He's going to join us at 3:25, and we'll get caught up on all things President Biden and things President Biden has forgotten, etc. It's all coming up.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
A little bit of a late-breaking news update here. Brian Kilmeade is going to be having Donald Trump on tomorrow at 8:06, so they're going to break into the Marc Cox Morning Show and carry that. So if you are listening tomorrow at any time, 8:06 is a great time. Because
are you making these decisions and Mark's going to find out about this later?
Yeah. Mark, FYI.
Oh, this was just a direct message to Marc Cox.
Yeah. Breaking news.
Mark,
I'm texting Mark right now.
They wanted me to tell you.
Yeah. No, this is going to happen tomorrow, 8:06.
Do you guys like watching Trump rallies on TV?
For about 10 minutes. And then I'm like, okay, I'm good.
I'm interested to see, this is his first public presence since the debate, isn't it?
Yes.
When was the interview with Hannity?
Last night.
Yeah, last night.
And it was a phone interview. That's not this. It's going to be very interesting to see what kind of tone he takes tonight. He's been so disciplined.
He has.
I hope he's not pent up.
That actually plays into my choice for the poll, too. What impact will Trump's VP pick have on the 2024 election? I choose none, but I'm projecting because I wanted to have none. I don't think that you can really add a lot right now. I think the best Trump can do is really not make a whole lot of waves. Like, don't make the story between now and the next 3 months about Trump at all. So if it's somebody that makes the story about Trump, I think that's actually worse. You could find that magic person that Annie and Brad were talking about. Tulsi Gabbard might be that person, but I just don't think they have enough of a relationship. You don't hear him talking about her a lot. So I think it's going to be one of these people that's kind of in his circle right now.
But how many times did you hear him talking about Mike Pence before he picked Mike Pence?
Never.
No, that's very true. So he could also throw that curveball.
Mike Pence is the pick that was the super conservative bona fide. Like, this is the guy who rounds out the ticket to make you understand, hey, we're Republicans and we're conservative. He doesn't need to do that.
Mm-mm.
But it was a smart move on his part, and it also made it so that, do y'all want to impeach and remove him from president and put the guy who's like from the conveyor belt for conservatives, the middle of the country, white guy, governor, very, very well-spoken at conservative values. And I've seen a lot of people, I've got a tweet up of listing out exactly why I believe Tulsi is the best pick. It's the best political pick. Again, if Trump said, Annie, you get to pick the VP, I'd pick Rubio to reflect me. But I think Tulsi pulls in the most votes outside of that. But there are a lot of people who think that Democrats, the people on the left, would be fast to impeach Trump because they'd rather have Tulsi be the president. I think that they hate Tulsi more than they hate almost anybody but Trump, and that they wouldn't want to do that at all.
Yeah, impeaching Trump to put Tulsi in would be an error.
Also, Washington Post put out on literally day one of his first term, the impeachment starts now. They don't need any encouragement for impeachment. They're already working on what they're going to impeach him for.
Yeah, and it's tough to actually remove a guy from office.
You guys did a great job today.
Thank you very much. Thank you for being here. That was a weird way to do a show, and it was kind of fun.
Thank you for letting me go spend time with my family for a memorial service today.
You are welcome. The poll, what impact will Trump's VP pick have on the 2024 election? A lot, a little, or none. 52% of you said a little, and that is in the lead. Then 39% said a lot. Very few agreed with me. 10% said none. And that is why I get to lead a show once in a great while, because very few people agree with me. This has been the Annie Fry Show. Anything to say in the last 4 seconds?
Go to anniefryshow.com, contact right there if you would like to submit questions for the Missouri governor debate. I'm looking for him.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
Marc Cox here. Did you know the Rockwood School District is a great place to work? They're currently hiring school bus drivers, cafeteria workers, and custodial staff, as well as summer positions for mowers and landscapers. They have openings in Adventure Club, which is before and after school care. They offer competitive pay, flexible work hours, and a rewarding work environment. Discover the Rockwood Advantage and join an amazing team. Go to rsdmo.org/jobs. That's rsdmo.org/jobs.